My boyfriend refuses to attend my mother's religious funeral. He said it's a violation of his beliefs.
Believe in this. You kind of
Yeah, I believe that. My 26 female mom passed away a couple days ago. My boyfriend, 31 male, is refusing to go to the funeral or let my daughter go with me because it's religious. Like the title says, I just lost my mom a couple days ago from ovarian cancer. I'm devastated right now, and my boyfriend, we've been together for a year and a half, isn't helping me at all.
Ooh, sorry, OP.
Yeah. By the way, this comes from user Mom's Funeral on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, my mom and I weren't on good terms before her death because of my boyfriend. John and my mom never got along because he's a deep-set atheist and my mom is very religious. Major issues popped up once I got pregnant and had my daughter. My mom pressed for me to have my baby baptized in the church, which I wanted to do, but John was dead set against it. He convinced me that baptizing her and indoctrinating her was a bad choice and that we should leave it to her to choose when she was old enough. I agreed. My mom didn't take this well at all, and after many angry and hurt arguments, she cut off contact with me. Not having my mom with me during my pregnancy or my baby's birth took a big emotional toll on me, but John insisted it was for the best, and he didn't want my mom near my daughter at all, and that my mom was evil for hurting me. At the time, I was angry, so I agreed. So far, everyone in this story except for OP. I found out my mom was sick with ovarian cancer a month ago when she called me and wanted to talk. I was horrified, and all of that BS kind of just fell away. I tried to make the best of my time with her. I brought my daughter to meet her grandma and tried to build good memories with her. I'm happy to say we reconciled, and my mom and I made peace with each other before she passed. Thank God. That's why I always advocate for not going no contact. I don't want to trash my boyfriend, but John has been a pain in the butt since I found out my mom was sick. He said she deserved it.
Yo.
Quickly backed down when he saw how angry that made me. He refused to go with me to visit or help care for my mom. He didn't even really want to listen to me talk about how happy I was to reconnect with my mom. All he did was remind me that my mom hurt me and I should have kept no contact with her, and she didn't deserve for me to speak to her. I told him that my mom isn't perfect, but my mom also raised me by herself and that she was my rock for many years, and he should respect that. He said nothing outside telling me that there was no value in talking to her. Now we're planning the funeral. I asked John to go with me, and he refused instantly. He said he hated my mom and that she was a hoo-ha to our family and that he wasn't going to church ever. And it was rude and insensitive of me to even ask. When I said I was taking my daughter, he had the nerve to actually tell me that I was not under any circumstances taking her.
Why is he so, again, on that train of like, this is literally the devil?
I don't mean to generalize it, but it feels like this guy, well, I shouldn't generalize it, I guess. I want to say it's because he's like an atheist and he's just like, so like, I refuse to let my daughter be exposed to like religion, but it's like, that's doing the...
I think there's something else.
Because this whole thing that he was doing, he was like, well, I don't want to expose our daughter to this. I want her to be able to choose. But now at the same time, you're like, I don't want my daughter exposed to anything except like completely secular beliefs because that's what I believe in. So he's actually actively trying to influence the daughter into being atheist.
100%. What's really getting at me is OP's mom just passed away and you're just like kind of piling it on OP. Like, oh, mom, don't go, or you don't take my daughter, don't take our daughter. You.
Yeah, it's just like your mom's and now she's still and I don't like her. It's like, dude,
stop.
Have a little bit of compassion.
There's just a little bit,
just a shred of compassion. Let your own
I'm
stuff
sorry.
go.
I'm sorry. That's it.
He's making this all about him.
It is. It's very narcissistic, and I want to kick him in the face.
Yeah. Anyway. I have been through an emotional roller coaster this past week. I lost my mom after we finally made up. My boyfriend has been stupidly unsupportive, and now he's refusing to let me take my child to her grandmother's funeral and refusing to come to at least support me. My daughter is the one thing that brings me comfort, and I want her with me. Is that so unreasonable? It seems like the more I push, the more he digs his heels in, and I just can't take it anymore. I don't know what to do. His attitude towards this entire thing is breaking my heart on top of my mom's death. And we do have an update.
I think we've said our piece.
Literally leave this man. Thanks everyone that sent me condolences about my mom. It's been really hard these past several days, but I've been hanging in there okay. I tried being reasonable to John about how he wanted to handle things. I even told him, like one poster here suggested, that he didn't have to go to the service, but could wait in the lobby with my daughter while the service was going on, and then she could spend time with my family after the service, but he again shot it down. He would be able to hear the service, and that was a, quote, violation of his beliefs, and asking to compromise on those beliefs was unconscionable and unfair to our daughter.
Who is this guy?
Just a selfish guy. He's standing on business for his beliefs, which, like, you know, is not necessarily a negative personality trait.
No.
But it is in the context of standing on your beliefs, like,
and then shoving
and
it
putting
down
that
other
above
people.
your spouse's mother passing.
This has nothing
That's
to do.
insane.
Yeah, this is a ceremony, and it's like, show some respect.
Yeah, you know what I think the phrase that is most appropriate for this situation is? Suck it up.
Grow up.
Suck it up, dude.
Grow up.
A lot of people don't like to throw that around, but dude, suck it up. In this situation, you shouldn't care if you're atheist. You shouldn't care if you're religious. You should just care that your wife is going through her mother passing, and you need to be able to be there for her.
And the fact that OP is trying to compromise, at least compromise for her own mother's funeral.
It's crazy. This guy's got to go. I told him that I had it. Yes. This is the icing on a very large cake. I told John that as of this week, I wanted our bank accounts separated. He made us joint accounts to make sure that we split everything equally to be fair, despite me making more than him, and that I'd be staying with my brother after the funeral while we figured out what to do, whether that was a total breakup or counseling. It was up to him. He said counseling was for the weak-minded and that we were staying together despite my empty threats. And there was no way in F he was letting me take his money. He became very loud and in my face during this conversation, so I just let him throw his tantrum until he took my silence as agreement. I took my daughter with me to the viewing with no problems. John and I barely spoke that day, which was fine by me, but it hit the fan the next day. When I got up in the morning to get myself ready and get my daughter ready, I discovered that he had the mother effing gall to park his car directly behind mine, blocking me into the driveway. I had no way to get to the funeral in my own car. John always drives to work, but for reasons I can only imagine, were to get back at me, decided to take the metro and took the baby carriage and bottles and my pump with him.
Dude, you are actually a monster.
Yeah, this guy is maybe one of the worst people I've ever heard in my life.
This is a grown man child.
My brother and I have our differences. Granted, in fact, we haven't talked much since my mom and I were estranged. We started talking again after she was sick, but he'll forever be a saint to me for what he did. I called him crying, and he and my sister-in-law arrived within 20 minutes. W brother. Sister-in-law calmed me down and helped me get my daughter ready, and they brought along spare bottles, a carrier, and a breast pump. Thanks to them, I was able to go to my mother's funeral in comfort, and my daughter was an angel during the service. They calmed me down, and everything went perfectly. And even though I was a mess most of the day, having my daughter with me, and my sister-in-law, and even my brother with me to lean on, gave me peace on the inside. And by the way, you can find your peace by joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Tap it.
I wish that there was, like, this guy is so just awful. I wish that there could be criminal action taken against him.
What is the mindset behind all of this? What is this going to bring you? Oh, you're not going to do those empty threats? I don't care. I'm going to stop you from going to the funeral. I don't care.
I think this guy is just so, I don't know if he's a narcissist or if he's clearly incredibly self-centered.
Where did this come from, though?
It feels like he's just trying to win. He's like, I won. I figured out the universe. I understand how the universe works, and I know I'm right. I'm winning with our daughter. I won't let her be religious. I'm winning
with my partner. Also, he seems like he doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't believe in therapy or counseling. He was like, therapies for the weak-minded.
We glazed over that one. Therapy for the weak-minded.
Dude, this guy is a brick wall, and I want to just walk away.
A close-minded turd sandwich, this guy. Let's finish it up. I hope to God that she leaves this guy.
That's the most reasonable option.
I've made up my mind not to tolerate John's insane and controlling behavior anymore.
Wow.
Woo! Let's go, OP. He had a litany of excuses for doing what he did. He even tried to claim his car had problems, and I don't want to hear any of them. I never wanted to be a single mom. I always wanted to raise my baby within a family, but I've decided that going alone is so much better than doing it with this man who thought nothing of trying to kick me while I was down. My brothers arranged for me to talk to a friend of his that specializes in family law this week, and we're taking it from there.
Let's go.
Yes. I still feel so guilty for what happened with my mom. I miss her so much. I hope from here on out I can make her proud of me despite my mistakes.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of OP literally just like not sticking with it. I'm done. I know because OP had so much on their plate with your mother passing away. It's hard, especially in the moment. OP did it very quickly. Usually it's like for all those emotions and to really get your mind back on track. I'm very happy that you did it as soon as possible.
And before we do finish the story, we do have some relevant comments here. Jangetta, I'm so sorry that you're going through this right now, and I'm so glad you have the support of a family behind you. Your daughter is far better off without someone like this as a role model for what she should look for in life, and I'm glad you're getting out of this situation. I would call the bank to see what you can do about the joint account before he tries something like cleaning it out and putting it somewhere else as well. I'm so sorry, and I wish you all the best. I think we all reflect the same sentiment here.
Yeah.
OP responds, I still have my personal account, so I called the bank and set up a meeting for tomorrow. I'm documenting that I've told John not to touch any of the money in the account until everything is worked out. I agree he's so toxic. John has good points, and I do love him, but I can't forgive the way he went out of his way to spite me during this whole thing. That's not love at all. He was spiting you.
This was pure hatred on like all accounts. Like there again, I think she said it best. OP was he did nothing but kick me down.
Yeah, he kicked you. He stomped you. He lit you on fire just so he could spit on you to put it out. Just a disgusting person. And really quick, and an update on the money situation. For everyone that's worried, he didn't get his hands on my money. I went straight to the bank and got the amount of my last check out of the account. Woo! Yeah, thank God I don't want him touching any of your money. And that is the end of that story.
I keep finding long black hairs in my boyfriend's and I's bathroom. I have red hair.
That don't add up to me.
I, 24 female, and my boyfriend, 26 male, have been together for 4 years and living together for 1.5 years. For the first year, we lived with another friend, but now it's just the two of us. This comes from throwaway123409876 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So we've had some big fights in the beginning of our relationship, the first year, but we worked through them, and now we have a great relationship overall. However, since we moved into our current apartment, I keep finding long black hairs in the bathroom. They're about 65 centimeters long and straight.
OP is doing science projects on the hairs in the bathroom.
I should mention my hair is red and my hair is short, barely 15 centimeters long. For those of you that don't know, 15 centimeters is
6 inches. 30 centimeters is a foot.
Okay, so 2 feet versus like half a foot. Oh my gosh. So it can't be his. His hair is short, barely 15 centimeters, so it can't be his. The first time I found one, I called him while he was with his sister and told him, we need to talk when you get home. You better hurry. I was really nervous. When he got back, he yelled at me for embarrassing him in front of his sister. He denied everything and didn't want to discuss it further. Okay, break up right here. At the time, I tried to justify it by thinking it might have been left behind by a friend who had visited us 2 weeks earlier, or maybe I haven't cleaned properly. Since then, though, I found more hairs. Always when I come home after working at the office. The third time, I taped the hair to a piece of paper and left it for him to see when he got home. He yelled at me saying he was tired of my insecurity and reminding him he's home most of the time. He ignored me for the rest of that night too, and I eventually just moved on. Yesterday, I went to a party with work colleagues, and when I got back and went to the bathroom, I found another black hair. I called him to come and look, and he responded angrily, really? Yeah, he seemed very irritated, and I ignored him, and he ignored me too. This morning, he tried to talk to me and asked why I wasn't speaking to him. But I didn't respond, and he left to go to the doctor and then went to the office. I've even tried looking at his phone, but I've never found anything suspicious. He's always on his phone, either listening to podcasts or scrolling through reels, but I haven't really seen anything alarming. Most of the time we're together, and I do feel pretty loved in this relationship. but these hairs are driving me insane, especially because he refuses to address the issue or take my concerns seriously. Any advice? OP on cleaning the house and seeing if more hair showed up. OP on cleaning the house and seeing if more hair showed up. OP, 2 times a week I vacuum and clean because my bathroom is beige and every hair can be seen. I am so suspicious. Any chances on OP having visitors at her place who might match the hairs? OP, I haven't really had any visitors for a while. The only way it would be for them, the hairs, to get on my clothes when I go to my sister's house. But it's happened too many times for that to be the case. I say. She has similar hair as the one I found, but I don't visit her so often. OP has visited someone else, which their hairs could have gotten on OP's clothes when she came home, and the hairs were found in different places. No, never new sheets. I have white sheets, and I've never found a hair there, only in the bathroom. My sister has the long black hair, similar to the one I found of our friends, but they don't visit us. My sister has long black hair, similar to the one I found and one of our friends, but they don't visit us. Yes, I visit my sister once a week. This can be a possibility. Yes, my sister has similar hair, and I visit her maybe once a week or 2 times a week. I see you, bro.
OP, I think maybe, I don't know. Well, to be fair,
She's visiting with her sister, so she sees her sister.
No, but the suspicious thing about this story is actually the boyfriend's reaction.
Yeah,
because
is
if
true,
you
that's
were
true,
doing
that's
nothing wrong, you'd just be like, I don't know even, where did that come from? It's a hair, babe. I don't know. Did it come through the vent? I don't know. Is someone breaking into our house and shedding in the bathroom? Who knows? But like the fact that he's just like, again, and then he just goes silent all night. It's like the only other scenario is you're somehow like 1 or 2 of your sister's hairs is falling off in the bathroom when you get into the shower.
But we got an update. Last night when my boyfriend got home, we had a much needed conversation. I approached him and calmly said something like, hey, I feel like your lack of acknowledgement around the situation is making me lose trust, and I think it's important we talk about it. I didn't accuse him of cheating, but I did share my feelings about the hairs I've been finding and explain how they've been making me feel. At first, he seemed to listen, but then he turned the conversation around, accusing me of cheating because I am bi. He said, why wouldn't it be you cheating? Things escalated quickly, and he expressed frustration, saying I embarrassed him when I call while he's out because of my insecurities. To add some context, I found out recently that one of his ex-girlfriends is no longer engaged. This is someone we've had issues with in the past. Years ago, he flirted with her at a birthday party I organized for him, which led us to breaking up temporarily. Before we moved in together, he used to hang out with her without telling me. And I know he occasionally messaged her, though he hides it. Her hair is dark red, but it's not hers that I'm finding. But their history still makes me uneasy. But people can dye their hair.
Have you heard of hair dye?
Yeah, my girlfriend dyes her hair. Seems like a lot.
You got to stay up on it if that's what you're going to do. Can we do it on the count of 3 again?
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Dump
Break.
him. Our conversation last night shifted away from the current issue to larger arguments about our relationship. He brought up his accident, and I said I haven't supported him enough, which was particularly hurtful because during that time, I poured everything into taking care of him. I handled all the logistics, getting him to a hospital, talking to doctors, sorting out insurance. Whew. That's the biggest one right there. And even ensuring he ate and took his meds, which he needed to. I neglected my own health in the process, fainting from exhaustion after going 30 hours without food. Despite all this, we did reach a point of agreement about installing a camera at home. He was surprisingly chill about it, and we both see it as a solution, not just for the current issue, but also for the dog we're planning to get soon. But he's just going to go to her place now.
Duh, if he's cheating, they're just going to cheat somewhere else.
This update might not be the dramatic cheating story some were expecting. It's not that, it's deeper communication issues. We ended the night on okay terms, even sleeping in the same bed, though I did end up crying alone in the living room for 2 hours. I'm confused and have mixed feelings.
No, you're not okay. That didn't end on good terms when you're crying on the couch.
From the outside, I know our relationship might look unhealthy, and maybe it is, but relationships are complex. I don't expect things to always be sunshines and rainbows. There are hard periods in every relationship where people either grow together or apart.
The crux in all of this is that it has never been discussed. How did this get here?
Yeah, no, it's always been avoided.
He avoids it by getting mean, by getting aggressive, by
Bringing
going
this up.
silent treatment.
Yes.
Like he can't answer the question. And his response to it is very telling.
Answer the question.
I'll do a quick psychological breakdown. There was a great channel on YouTube a while ago that broke down police interrogations and like the subjects that were in there. And when people are innocent and are accused of something they're not guilty of, they don't begin being like, how dare you do that? They start by being like, wait, what's going on? They gather information. They're like, you're saying what? What's going on? That? This? So the response should have immediately been, wait, whose hair is that? You don't know? I don't know. Whose hair is that? And then if it continued to be, hey, there's this hair, it'd be like, okay, yeah, but I've already established, I don't know. Then over time, it would make sense in that context for like more annoyance to surface. But the fact that it was there immediately, that's a guy who's guilty trying to shut down any sort of investigation by being like, oh, just drop this.
I'm watching a really interesting podcast that explains stuff like that. I'll send it to you. I've read her book. Her book's amazing.
I'm going to shout him out. JCS Criminal Psychology. Give him a gander. The channel is dead because they can't get monetized anymore because things, but it's on YouTube. I'm
not looking to make impulse decisions right now. Aside from the fights and communication struggles, we do have a happy relationships in many ways. Like when he's happy, I'm happy. He's been a part of my life for 4 years and I don't want to take that lightly. To those who suggest I might be sabotaging the relationship due to anxiety or depression, that is something I'm reflecting on. I appreciate the honesty, even if it's hard to hear. By the way, it's never hard to hear us go live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch. Go check us out. We're probably live right now, but we have a pretty good bit left.
But you didn't tell them they got to tap on our profile.
But you have to tap in your profile in your
tap on the profile and then you'll join the live.
We do have a lot left. I think it's going to be found out that he's cheating. He's definitely cheating.
I would be completely shocked if this guy is not cheating, especially given the fact that she said that there have been problems in the past with an ex who is now no longer engaged. Like, where there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean? Jelly Bean. Anyone out there watching this going through the Malibu fires right now? Our thoughts are with you.
For those who think I'm the problem or that I'm controlling, our relationship allows for plenty of trust and independence. He spends time with his friends, follows and likes posts on Instagram, and has female friends, all without the issue from me. I don't go through his phone or invade his privacy. If I ever have questions or want to see something, he's open and shows me voluntarily. Thank you for your support and advice. You've given me a lot to think about, and I'm grateful for this community. Relevant comments. OP also mentions in the first post she finds them on days she has been in the office. Does OP work with anyone or sit near anyone with long dark hair? OP, no. I visit my sister once a week. As someone I've mentioned, she just gave birth and is shedding a lot. Most of the time, if I go to the office, I stop at her house before I go home. That is the logical justification I found for the hair because she has the exact same hair type I'm looking at. DNA test the baby.
DNA test the hair. Just like take a sample from the sister, take a sample from the house.
Do a DNA test, use that hair.
Yeah, there you go.
Comment 2. OP, did you address the point made in the comments to your first post about the hairs that could have been from your sister and brought in by you, given you give it frequently? I know a lot of people are jumping to a conclusion about your boyfriend's defensiveness, but I can understand someone getting defensive if they are repeatedly accused of being something that has nothing to do with them.
That's true, but he was defensive from the very beginning.
OP, that is the reason I did things this way. There are two options, if he's guilty or he's not. If he is guilty, I will find out sooner rather than later with my methods and my friends. If he is not, well, probably for an innocent person, that would be very frustrating. And how can you prove if you are not cheating? You can't. You can give him the benefit of the doubt until further suspicion and evidence. I try to talk about the trust issue we have. Commenter 3, next time, maybe find out if it's your sister's hair before coming to the internet to tell your business to strangers. OP, wasn't the point of this forum to ask for advice? Sorry, but I explained a lot of things here. And yes, okay, so they keep talking about the sister. Is that the freaking end? No fucking way.
There's no way. Dude, okay, so first of all, those comments were kind of dumb. When you are innocent and accused of a crime, your first response is not immediately being like, what the heck's going on? And then giving someone the silent treatment. Your first response, if you are innocent, would be genuine curiosity, and you would want to gather more information and say, what is this thing that's going on? I don't know anything about it. So where is that long hair? Doesn't your sister have long hair? Could it be hers? But instead it was literally the silent treatment like he's in middle school, which is, you know, a great way to not incriminate yourself? Don't say anything. So That's my 2 cents. I feel in my soul that this guy was cheating on OP.
I've seen that story.
My boyfriend gave me an ultimatum regarding my audiobooks, so I gave him one too. My boyfriend and I have been together for around 3 years, and we've had a pretty easygoing relationship. No big fights or anything until now, which is why I'm questioning myself so much. By the way, this comes from It Was Midnight Suns May on the OK Storytime subreddit. So I listen to audiobooks, not erotic ones.
I doubt it.
Because as becomes important later, I have a thing for nice voices. Me too. But somehow someone just reading smut off a page feels weird for me to listen to. No judgment to anyone else, of course, just not my thing. My boyfriend has recently got a bug up his butt about me listening to them, especially when he's home, even though I always use headphones.
The volume's just so loud. He can hear everything being said through the headphones.
He's like, don't torture me with rats, please. And do my best not to disturb him. Also, before anyone says it, my Audible account comes directly out of my bank account. He has no reason to think it will affect his finances. Anyway, he only ever gave little snide remarks until the latest time, so I let it go. Most recently, I had been making us dinner and cleaning up behind myself as I did it, and because he was playing video games and I get bored doing those kinds of things without something else to think about, I turned on my favorite audiobook and picked up where I had been listening the week before. I didn't realize he was in the kitchen until he yanked the cord on my headphones. No.
Oh, heck no.
No.
You're not yanking my cord,
no.
buddy.
And asked if I was doing it again. I asked what he was talking about, and he just sighed and said that he needed to talk to me. We sat down, and I'll admit I was pretty pissed he had yanked my headphones and not super willing to listen to anything right then. Another reason I might be an a-hole. No, he's the a-hole. He said that it really bothered him when I listened to audiobooks from a man's perspective. Because he knows about my voice thing and that it makes him uncomfortable.
So you know about our voice thing. Why don't you work on your voice, buddy boy?
I asked why, and he said that he couldn't get it out of his head that I was thinking schmexual things about the characters, and that along with the romantic elements made him really upset and felt almost like I wasn't fully committed to him. I asked if he realized I was listening to a book for teens written by a literal Mormon. Is she reading Twilight? And that none of the books I listen to have smut. He said that it didn't matter and started getting angry again, which just made me angrier, and he dropped the ultimatum that he wanted me to stop or else we would need to break up. I was so pissed at this point that I just shrugged and said gladly. The minute you stop watching it, I'll never touch any of it again. Which had him pissed because he claimed he never said anything about spicy content, only romantic and spicy sleep parts of the books I listened to, or schmexual parts I listened to. I said that if he was allowed to make ultimatums of favorite pastimes, why can't I? Then I asked if he would rather give up video games since that's closer to what audiobooks mean to me. He ended up just saying to effing forget it and went to bed.
Effing forget it.
I talked to my friends about the situation, got mixed answers, so I wanted to try with strangers as well. Relevant comments.
Cool.
Be Healthy says, this is a big red flag to me. Is he so insecure that he can't stand the idea of you listening to gasp another man? You weren't even listening to anything provocative when he did this, and he had that kind of reaction. Where is all of his anger coming from? The fact that he dropped an ultimatum, books, for F's sake, or breaking up is insane to me. This seems like such an odd thing for him to want to have control over. You're wearing headphones, not listening to it on a speakerphone, and you're minding your own business, and he has the audacity to be upset you're doing that. Personally, I would cut ties. But if you feel like he's a good partner to you in other aspects and he isn't controlling about other things you do, i.e. what you wear, who you hang out with, etc., then maybe try talking it out when he's calm. OP says, he did try to explain that he felt as if I was reacting to the romantic parts in ways I don't react to him. Which almost made sense, but then all I can think is, yeah, of course I do. This kind of romantic thing doesn't exist in real life, and I don't expect it to. But to hear about it is enough to make me blush or laugh because it's cute. Yeah. Like sometimes I'll read romantic books or like, little rom-com things, and I'm like,
It's almost like when you read books or hear books, they make you think thoughts and feel feelings.
Yeah. I've never expected him to be an over-the-top romantic. I don't think I would enjoy it in real life. It would more than likely overwhelm me. But I do like to hear about it, I guess. This part does make me feel a little bad because at the time I was so angry about the headphone pulling. I don't know why it set me off so bad. No one has ever done it to me before, but for some reason it had me pissed. I couldn't even react to it like I should have. I honestly maybe should have asked to wait the more I think about it. And B. Halsey says he put his hands on you, girl.
Did he?
I mean, he took the headphones.
Oh, yeah. He yanked.
He's getting mad over fictional characters / stories. I think long and hard about what you want to do going forward.
Ooh.
Sparks Girl 1223 says he's weirdly hung up on this voice thing. Pleasant voices are soothing, relaxing, etc. It's not like you stopped cooking dinner to Masquerade's spread eagle on the counter while moaning the narrator's voice. Sheesh. I feel your ultimatum is fair. So it's been a while. I don't think I would update because the original update would have been mostly us talking and working things out, agreeing that whenever he felt insecure, he could tell me, and I could focus my attention on him for a while. It worked really great. Okay.
That seems like the reaction of like a dog walking up to you and being like, "Can I have attention?
Can I have attention, please?
While you're cooking, give me attention.
Please?"
While you're doing this, give me attention."
Unfortunately, it doesn't end there. Well, until I found out he had been effing his coworker, that is. It was projection all along.
No.
It was projection all along.
I take back all of the empathy I had for this person. No, into the sun with thee. Into the sun.
Man. Well, I don't have the details. I don't want the details, but he admitted to it in the end, so he did it. That's enough. He wanted to work it out and apologized, begged for a second chance. But honestly, the idea that he said a word to me about an audiobook about Edward freaking Cullen, I was right!
Yeah, you did. Yep.
I freaking nailed that.
Yep.
While he was getting strange on the side.
If I knew a Twilight quote, I would quote it right now.
Bella, where have you been, loca?
Bella, where you at? Yo, I know that was Jacob though. Yeah, I knew that.
It destroyed an opportunity for any opportunity for forgiveness I had inside of me. It was so ridiculous. I laughed thinking about it now. And it's been a month since we broke up. Like, it makes me feel so insane. It's funny. He was yelling at me for listening to a book about Mormon vampires while he was cheating on me. XD. I cannot make this crap up. By the way, I can't make up that you can join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Just tap our profile. And there is a little bit left, but leave. You should have honestly, I mean, hindsight's 2020. But anytime someone starts controlling your hobbies that are very, very simple and innocent, you gotta leave.
Yeah, a big red flag. A big red flag. Clifford the Big Red Dog. A big red flag to me was that after y'all had that conversation that you kind of skipped over, he said that the solution was whenever he felt insecure, you would just give him attention, which is him putting his own stuff outside of himself. Like, his insecurities aren't coming from you reading the book.
Yeah.
His insecurities are coming from his own thoughts that he would direct at himself. Whether it's that he's not good enough or that whatever it is. But instead of being like, I'll work on my issues, he's like, actually, it's your job to make to fix it. Make me feel not insecure, which is not how that works.
It was just putting it more on OP.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bubbles Marie says 50 Shades was originally a Twilight fanfic called Master of the Universe.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah.
Like He-Man.
I was right.
I have the power to write Twilight fan fiction.
You sound like
He-Man.
No.
Yes, I sound like He-Man. Just say it.
Right.
I have a sword right here.
No, you sound like JFK in Clone High.
Oh, that's actually, I like that.
Yeah. What's the line from that?
I don't know, but I have a John F. Kennedy a little bit. I have a John F. Kennedy. I have the power.
100 points to whoever said projection the first time I posted. Oop. I can't remember if it was a comment or a message, but you were right. I wish I had a cookie. Thanks for the help anyway, even if the relationship is a bust now. I really do appreciate you all, and that is the end of that story.
Oh.
My friend's boyfriend is weirdly obsessed with my life, so I distance myself from them.
No game, no more life.
Trying to see what you're up to tonight. That's all.
No, thank you.
My 19 females friend, 18 females boyfriend is weirdly invested in my life. I 19 female would like to start off by saying I am in my own relationship. And although the title sounds weird, I just can't tell if I'm going crazy or not since everyone in my life has acted as if this situation is completely normal. By the way, this comes from Smells Like Ocean on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So a couple months ago, before I was in a relationship, I was on a dating app and would mainly use it seriously with my friends, mainly because I would never find anything substantial in them. I ended up matching with this guy, 19 male, let's call him Dave, who only used Instagram to talk to people, and therefore I ended up giving him my Instagram. I significantly remember talking to my friend, 18 female, let's call her Leah, about Dave. My Instagram is full of pictures of me and my friends, and I ended up ghosting Dave due to some personal issues I was going through and some mannerisms I caught on to that I didn't like. He was low-key aggressive, and I continued to post on my Instagram. Months later, my friend Leah comes to me and tells me about this guy she matched with on the dating app. Surprise, surprise, it's Dave. Leah starts saying why she understands why it wouldn't work out with me and Dave because we have nothing in common and that she's really excited for her date with Dave. I was also excited for her at first. She went on her first date with him. Things were going on very well. On the second date, Dave tells Leah that he wants to meet her friends. He was so pushy about meeting her friends that he said he would have planned the whole thing. I told Leah that I definitely did not have to meet Dave until they were more settled into the relationship, and I wouldn't take offense to not being invited. Leah told me she wanted me to go and that all she felt she needed to do was tell Dave that I would be at this meeting the friends date. On Leah's third date with Dave, she asked who his celebrity crush is, and Dave responds with a popular actress of my ethnicity and then continues to express how women of my ethnicity are his type. Leah has a very different ethnicity to me, and Dave was well aware of this. She finally musters up the courage to tell him that she is friends with me, and when she does, she tells her, "Oh, I know. Do you know why she ghosted me?" Then he proceeds to tell her that he would bring a friend and turn his next date into a double date for us. I got to the double date. Surprise, surprise, his friend doesn't show up because he's too afraid of women. Then we go through with the date with Dave and Leah heavily making out everywhere. We went to the point where I just continued to get secondhand embarrassment. Then I realized that my ex-boyfriend worked at one of the stores nearby, and since I was on good terms with him, I decided to stop by and say hi. Again, this is before me and my current boyfriend got into a relationship. Leah and Dave showed up, and Dave asked my ex if he wanted to join us. So he did.
So it became a double date with your ex.
Yeah, it was a pretty awkward setup since Leah and Dave continued to heavily make out at the restaurant we went to, but thankfully I was able to get through with it without dying of boredom.
Ew.
A couple of weeks go by, and this is when I started dating my boyfriend. We made it official before Leah and Dave did. And when he finally asked Leah to be his girlfriend, he sort of did it through text. Leah then tells me they had gone on a date in the same mall we had gone on our double date, and that Dave had gone back to this store where my ex worked to see if he could find him. Leah tried to play it off as a really cute thing because apparently Dave doesn't have a lot of friends since he just transferred to his college. She believes he's just trying to make friends his own age. I don't find it as endearing since my ex was visibly uncomfortable with Dave throughout the dinner and barely talked to him. Ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
because guess what? Dave had someone's tongue down his throat the entire time. Hi, I'm Dave. Okay, bye. Gonna go make out now.
A couple months later, my boyfriend and I started to have issues. I confided in Leah. She wasn't really helpful since all she talked about was Dave would never do that to her. She also brought up the fact that she had a coworker who was looking for a girlfriend and that she showed him my Instagram and he seemed interested. Leah started talking about how her coworker is actually one of Dave's new friends and how they're getting along well. Leah then puts Dave on the phone and he proceeds to tell me that I should break up with my boyfriend. Dave has never met my boyfriend. Dave also said that I should get myself a man of his ethnicity so she can get a trial run before she actually gets with Dave. So she's like, okay, this is what this is going to be like, and I'll be ready for Dave. Leah then admits to me that Dave has been continuously asking her for updates on how my relationship with my boyfriend is and ask if we have broken up yet. A couple of the days later, I get a follow request from Leah's coworker, and I asked her if she had told him to follow me. She says Dave was the one who told him to follow me and said that Leah's coworker would treat me better. Dave just met Leah's coworker. He doesn't even know him that well. A couple of hours later, Dave requested to follow me on his alternate account. I don't know what else to say or do. Leah, my boyfriend, nor my friends seem to be at all upset about this behavior, or at least not at the level I'm upset. My friends have said it's very odd and seems to think he's weirdly involved with my life as my friend's boyfriend. Is this not weird? Am I wrong for being upset? Comment number 1, stay away, block him out of your life, and don't share as much info with Leah. Make new friends. This is really important because it's got to have a support system. I would ask your ex what he thinks about Dave and what they talked about, and tell him you'd rather say they don't talk about you because you're unsure of Dave. It is definitely weird behavior. Also, it doesn't matter what they think at all. If it feels weird to you, then move on and wait till your feelings are proved otherwise. OP, I have my own friends, and I think I will be making space between Leah and I for this and other reasons as well. Thank you for your advice. Thankfully, my ex wasn't working the day Dave went looking for him. I asked what they talked about when Leah and I were in the bathroom, and he said they briefly talked about how football and that he felt a little uncomfortable with how overly friendly he was with him. Due to my current relationship, I don't think it's a good idea to be talking to my ex, but if the situation somehow escalates, I may reach out to him. Commenter 2, editor's note, Leah, she doesn't think it's an issue that her boyfriend's type is the opposite of what she is. Like, my gosh, I know he's young, but yeesh. OP, she just clings onto the fact that people tell us we look alike, so therefore she thinks she looks good enough like the people of my ethnicity to pass or for it to be okay. Also, Dave tried to backpedal and said that he didn't think I was of that ethnicity, but somehow she did, and yet we look alike? I don't know. It's all really weird because my opinion is gaslighting, but I don't know. Commenter 3, Dave is going to try to be your boyfriend's best buddy. You need to take this more seriously. The guy is showing classic stalker, nice guy behavior. Consider making your socials all private for a year or two because yes, it'll take that long. Don't let your friends know if you're alone anywhere if Dave might find out. Tell your parents or other people outside the friend group and never go anywhere Dave is. If he's there, leave. Don't be nice about it. He's taking advantage of everyone wanting to be nice. Nope, he's dangerous. OP, all of my socials are private. I removed him from my followers. I haven't told my family, although they think I am overreacting. I talked to Leah and she told me that she really wanted to go on a trip with all 4 of us. I brought up the fact that Dave doesn't seem to like my boyfriend as a way to get out of it, and Leah just said, oh, well, Dave will play nice during the trip. So I can definitely see where you're coming from. He's being aggressive on meeting you. We got an update.
He's just trying to be friendly.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah, and Leah's like, it's just Dave. Dave's the best.
Dave's so cool.
We make out everywhere.
Yeah, he's just the best ever.
Do you think it's to that extent of like craziness, or is he actually trying to just like maybe it's just like so forward of like I want to be with,
Yeah.
I want you to feel, I want you to be friends with me. I want to have I want you to be comfortable with me and
Yeah.
hang out with us and bring your
I think when it comes to friendships, it needs to be people you are excited to be around and you don't feel bad when you leave them.
I think that's what he's trying to do.
And I think Dave is trying to force something. He's trying
Yeah.
to force something that's not natural. Just needs to be out of the picture because I don't know why he wants to be near OP as much,
He's trying maybe he's trying to use
And-
Leah to get to her. To OP. I don't know.
And
But
I think he wanted to talk to the ex to see where he was and OP was, so he could be like, are they dating? Are they not?
I just think Dave is trying to be too forward, and you're like, slow your roll, man. Things need to be genuine.
We got an update. Thank you so much for all the support you gave me on my original post. I just wanted to update you all on the developments since then. My boyfriend and I made up, and I updated him on the situation with Leah, Dave, and Leah's coworker. At first, my boyfriend seemed unfazed. The more time passed, the more it seemed to bother him. Leah came over the night I uploaded the original post, and the first thing she said was, so what happened with your boyfriend? Everyone's is dying to know, and by everyone, I mean Dave and my coworker. A huge smile on her face. I pointed out the fact that it was odd that they wanted to know so badly. Leah simply brushed it off and said that her coworker actually wanted to apologize to me. Leah said that supposedly Dave had made it sound like my relationship was done for, which is why her coworker requested me. As for Dave, he just continues to ask Leah if I've broken up with him yet. Leah continued to express her disappointment with some comments Dave has started to make about her size. She specifically talked about how she had wanted to get some dessert, but he had refused to get anything, and then asked Leah, do you get desserts with your friends every time you go out with them? And then Leah alluded to him fat shaming her friends, specifically me and one of her other friends. A day or so later, Leah calls me and tells me that Dave has once again asked her if I've broken up with my boyfriend yet. We continue talking. She says that unfortunately, she doesn't think that we can go on that trip she's been wanting to go with all 4 of us on. Although I had already decided I wouldn't go anywhere if Dave were present, curiosity got the better of me and I asked what changed her mind. She said if Dave was in the same room as your boyfriend, I think he would want to fight him. She was being deathly serious. My boyfriend and I got into a pretty run in the mill argument. He didn't cheat or lie or steal or hit. It was a simple disagreement. Therefore, I don't think it's getting physical with my boyfriend that all warranted, especially considering the fact that his rage is coming from my friend's boyfriend, who I originally turned down and barely know. The day after this phone call, my boyfriend brought up Dave and asked if he had done anything else. I informed him, and he seemed genuinely concerned for Leah. He said that I should genuinely consider intervening as things have seemingly gotten worse. And you know what's not the worst thing ever? Is joining our podcast and listening to more stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms. Just look us up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, OK Storytime. We're there.
And we just added another story.
Yeah, dude, this is getting kind of weird for Leah, I would say.
The fact that Leah is... nothing is jumping at Leah. Like, but girl, do you not see, like, you're like a deer in headlights and you don't see the headlights? Like, this guy is blatantly saying weird stuff and asking consistently about OP.
Yeah.
That's just Dave.
Yeah. Just Dave. I made efforts to intervene. This relationship between Dave and Leah was fresh. However, Leah simply accused me of jealousy. If I had been single at the time, I would have bit my tongue and taken the harsh accusation. However, by this time she made the accusation, I was in my relationship with my current boyfriend. There, the accusation truly upset me, specifically because it was an insult to my boyfriend and our relationship. After reading so many of your comments, which I greatly appreciate, I think I've decided to make some space between me and Leah. Am I wrong for this? Should I try harder to intervene? And we got like some comments here. Comment number 1. Sorry, OP, it's time to ghost Leah as well. Dave is stalking you and she's enabling it.
Yeah.
I don't know why she doesn't see this is going on. Lack of self-respect, insecure, but she's feeding info about you. So she's just as bad at this point. Keep them both at a very far distance. Has no one else pointed out to Leah that Dave is only with her because of you? OP, no. That's why I feel like I'm the one that's crazy. Leah has 2 other friends. I'm close with one of them, but not really the other one that she constantly talks to. According to her, she told them the whole story and they both didn't see anything wrong with Dave or his actions. I genuinely thought that she was lying to me about telling them the whole truth, but after talking to one of them, I realized that she did in fact know the whole story and she believes Dave is a perfectly fine guy. There are other issues that Dave has that I haven't necessarily mentioned because they're not relevant to the specific story, but if you cut me off and all the weird interactions Dave has with me, he is still not a good guy to get into a relationship with, in my opinion. Non-violent crime level stuff. So I just don't understand why everyone is so chill with it, which is why I feel like I was the problem.
They're bored. They're so bored that they're so entertained with your life. That's what I'm getting. That Dave and Leah are so freaking bored out of their minds with their own lives and with each other that they're so interested in your life. Get away from them.
Get away.
That's all you need to do.
You got to get out of there. But now we're going to the next story.
My boyfriend and I planned to get married, but he still hasn't proposed.
It's kind of hard to get married when someone doesn't propose.
I, 23 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 25 male, for almost 6 years. This one's kind of a doozy, so I apologize. My boyfriend and I started dating my freshman year of college in 2017. By the way, this comes from user Throwaway Speechy on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Everything was going really well, and everything just fell into place. It just felt right until the pandemic hit in 2020, and we all got sent home to finish college virtually during my senior year. We have been in a long-distance relationship since, because I then began attending graduate school for speech therapy. To save money, I lived with my parents, and he lived with his, who lived 3 hours away from me. When the long distance began, my only ask of him was that we be married when I graduate in August 2023. In our families, it is super important that we are married before living together. You already know, purity culture crap. He saw this as reasonable and claimed it was something he really wanted. Then we could get married and get a place together once I'm done with school. Here is the dilemma. He still hasn't proposed yet, like we had agreed. He expressed that he was planning on talking to my parents to get their blessing before planning the proposal. He initiated a conversation with my parents about next steps in November 2022 and hasn't said anything up until last week. He's been at my house 3 times and never sought after opportunities to say something. He's putting it off, and there's only one reason why he would. It would be one thing if he had expressed that he wasn't ready for marriage, whether that be not being emotionally ready or financially ready, but he's been talking a lot about engagement for the last 2 years, getting my hopes up, and then nothing happens. One important thing to note is that he is an only child with a mom who has a meltdown when the idea of marriage or moving out is even mentioned.
Oh, okay. All right. There's the problem.
My boyfriend proposed, and it's like mom, his mom, his mom, and also his mom.
Oh, you forgot his mom is insano.
But his mom is, that's also the bonus space in the middle of the bingo
okay.
card.
Yeah.
Is his mom. She has been an issue throughout our entire relationship because she is constantly trying to create division between us, whether that is talking crap about him to me or vice versa. Yeah, down talking your own son, being like, you don't want to date this guy. He sucks. He's the worst. Trust me. I raised him. He's terrible.
Look at him. He won't even move out of his parents' house.
He has now begun expressing fears of leaving his parents when he's the only one there to take care of them.
How old are they? Are they like 80?
How old are they? He's afraid of what they'll think of him if he leaves for a career opportunity, or for me, who is seeking career opportunities in speech therapy in various locations. So really, I'm just going to pause really quick and say that if your parents want to make you feel guilty for like bettering your life or pursuing a career or like doing anything,
Leaving the nest.
it's like you don't have to listen to that.
You don't.
You
Yeah,
know?
that
As
is
long as
crazy.
You listen to your heart. If your heart's in the right place, you listen to that. On to his conversations with my parents, which is the biggest concern I'm having. First, he told my parents he was planning on proposing this summer. He then expressed that he was afraid of commitment and sacrifice. My dad asked him what he meant, to which he responded, well, I like my me time and my space to play video games and watch sporting events, which my parents give me. I'm scared to give that up for a wife or to help with kids.
It sounds like he's not ready for a relationship.
So after hearing that, this kind of broke me because he would have never said anything like this before moving back home with his parents. He's extremely comfortable with his life and doesn't want to change it.
Ooh, that's also another red flag.
But I want to change mine. I want to move out and get an amazing speech therapy career opportunity when August rolls around. I want to get married and have kids. This was something I'd wanted to do with him, but with his unsupportive parents and some of the concerns he's expressing to everyone but me, I'm really scared to proceed with him and include him in things such as apartment or job hunting. Things haven't been the same as they were before we started long distance for a long time. I've been trying to remain optimistic through all of this in case things do go back to the way they were once we got a place together, but that optimism is fading. I thought I could have the best of both worlds, the career and the guy, but I'm stuck at a crossroads instead and am incredibly stressed and heartbroken. This is supposed to be an exciting time, but it's just dreadful because of all of this. Any thoughts? Please be brutally honest, especially if I could have proceeded differently with this.
All right, let's be as brutally honest as we can.
Do we do that at first or get brutally honest right now?
We'll get brutally honest. Dump him. He is a very comfortable, gonna stay as he wants POS.
I think you clearly need to meet face to face with this guy and try to have a conversation and be like, so what made you feel like you couldn't come to me with this stuff?
Yeah.
Because clearly you didn't. She said everybody seems to know about this except me. So why didn't you talk to me about it?
Babe, you never brought it up.
The main issue isn't that he hasn't proposed. If he had concerns about a marriage or wasn't ready, he needs to tell me. That he either hasn't told me or whenever I've asked, he brushes it off and says he wants to marry me anyway. My main issue is his consistency. He says one thing but doesn't demonstrate it through actions. I've had conversations with him about this, and he just says he'll try to do better. As far as the video games and sports go, I really try not to be nitpicky or controlling about what he does in his spare time or how much of it he does. I've been gaslit and hurt in previous relationships for being too controlling, so I try to be extra conscientious of that. I'm supportive of him hanging out with the boys and try to get to know them as well. Although these things aren't my go-tos, I try to watch sporting events with him and play video games with him to try to understand the hype. And by the way, you can understand this hype, that there are a bunch of stories, a nearly limitless well of stories just like this one that you can listen to. All you have to do is search OK Storytime on any of your preferred podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify or Apple Music or even YouTube. Like, you can find us pretty much anywhere. All you got to do is search OK Storytime.
Yep, that's it.
Holy crap, y'all. It took me 4 months, but I did it. I ended it. Wow. It took you 4 months?
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Hey. Better late than never.
Over the last 4 months, all of our relationship has been just talks of either marriage or engagement or taking me out on the town when he never actually does the things he says he'll do. Lots of gaslighting, manipulation, the works. Whenever I wanted to have a conversation about serious stuff like where to live, finances, kids, etc., he brushed it off like it was nothing. This was how I knew he was not planning for the future. Apparently, his parents know more about his financial situation than I do, which don't even get me started. I approached them about it, and they showed me how many loans he has.
Ooh, and guess what? If you get married, half of those loans are also yours.
No way, I didn't know that.
Nope.
Ooh, oh my God. And OP says they are astronomical. And he hadn't paid a dime since he graduated from college 4 years ago. Wow. All while having zero expenses. Nothing. This made me upset because not only did I have expenses, but I was working insane hours to pay for school and for my expenses. And he didn't make any attempts to have a stable, consistent job over the summer. At that point, I was done. Wow. I think we're all done. It took a lot of courage to leave, especially considering the problems with his mom. I thought she'd bite my head off for dumping her baby, LMAO. Well, it's a good thing she's not a praying mantis. She can't eat you. But I finally did it this past weekend. Dang, did I dodge a bullet? Agreed. The whole conversation was very gaslighty and manipulative. I felt like I was witnessing a toddler throwing a tantrum. He was crying, pacing, throwing stuff I bought him, etc. He accused me of cheating when I told him the long distance was affecting my feelings for him. Whoa, which means he probably cheated. He tried to bribe me with stuff to stay with him like a Nintendo Switch. Bruh.
Bro, he can manipulate me.
He guilted me for all the dates he took me on over the summer and in college years ago. Keep in mind, I was paying for undergrad and graduate school out of pocket and had no money. He accused me of never wanting him to be happy. The worst part, when I told his mom we broke up, it was essentially a don't let the door hit you on the way out kind of conversation. I don't know why that's bad. That's good. The mom's just like, whatever, bye.
Mom, you raised the failure.
All of these are technically good signs.
Yeah.
This is a good sign where that you made the best decision. He basically said, sorry y'all broke up. Have a good life. Sayonara, Sammy. And to be honest, I was hoping she'd yell at me or bite my head off. Why were you hoping? Just so I could see her stick up for him a little bit, just to show me she truly cares about his well-being and not just her own for whenever he decides to leave her. I'm sad and extremely anxious because I left something that was comfortable and don't know what the future brings. I hated hurting him, but he has inflicted a lot of pain and doubts into my mind, and he hurt himself.
Ooh.
By
Boom.
never changing.
Quote
He had these
again.
conversations over and over again. He's like, I'll try to do better. He never tried. A lot of you said in the comments that I'm young and it'll be okay, and you're right, but being a girl in your 20s is so hard, especially with finding and maintaining friendships and relationships. It'll be fine, though. Thank you for the advice and support, and thank you for taking the time to read all of my word vomit. The Reddit community is truly amazing. And that is the end of that story.
Very nice. I kind of called it, though. Like,
Yeah.
he was going to just, like, oh, you didn't talk about it. It's just pointing the finger.
I catfished my cheating boyfriend and he fell for it. And this is a direct OK Storytime submission from one of you.
One deception leads to another.
I, now 33 female, about 5 to 6 years ago was dating this guy, now 34 male. Let's call him Patrick, that I met on a dating app for almost 3 years. He was very manipulative and would gaslight me whenever I would question certain suspicious behavior. By the way, this comes from Tomatoes 4075, and if you want to submit your stories, go to OK Storytime subreddit and we might read it just like this story.
Exactly. Yes.
The last straw was when yet another girl reached out to me stating that they were sleeping with Patrick. By the way, it wasn't the first time someone had reached out to me. Anyways, I'm always feeling bad for breaking up with someone, but I knew this guy was not going to let me go. He actually was going to propose?
Gross.
That's diabolical behavior. But I came up with a plan. So I simply would catfish him and see if he would fall for it, which with previous occurrences, I knew he would fall for it. There was an app back then that would be used to prank call people, and we'd go to choose what number would appear on the caller ID. So that's where I got the idea and went with it. But I had to make it look real. I created Erica, actual fake name used. The app would call him along with whatever prank we wanted to play. I chose the girl next door. He had helped
Great
me
movie.
put insurance on my dad's and brother's car, so those were under his name. So I quickly got him to sign over the titles so he can't claim them. My brother has a DUI, so his insurance is expensive. I know, this was not the way, but now they both have their vehicles under their respective names. Anyway, I was on my way to his apartment and set the call to go out as I was a few steps from his door. I let it ring and he answered. Pre-recording of a woman saying that she's been seeing him recently, that she's from next door to him, and she really thought he was very handsome, played. After the first sentence, I went inside and he quickly hung up. He looked startled and I asked him what's up. He stated he was just annoyed because it was work bothering him. I go to the ladies' room. While in the bathroom, I pulled out my texting app. I had created a fake number to text him from and used it on the prank app to come up as his caller ID. I texted him as Erica. Sorry, I was too straightforward, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to freak you out.
Oh, no worries. My signal's here at work, but what's your name? I didn't catch it.
I'm Erica. I live a few doors from you. I've seen you sometimes on your way to work or when you come back. I asked one of your friends if I could get your number, and here we are.
What friend of mine?
Miguel. I told him I thought you were very handsome and wondered if you were single, and he offered me your number.
Oh yeah, I know him. I am indeed single. And you sent me a picture.
So I played along, and I also had asked a friend if I could use her pictures and what I was doing. Made sure it wasn't someone he knew, and my friend was all on board.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, yeah, I'll catfish someone.
Said we ride at dawn.
So I sent a picture and decided to meet up in person. I was working 2 jobs, so I really needed time to coordinate this very well. I told him to give me a week because I was going to Italy for a week, so let's meet up then. Oh, I said Italy because she had pictures that we can exchange while Erica was away. So I coordinated myself to be free during those hours that we were going to meet up due to Patrick knowing my work schedule. He knows I never call out of work or ask to leave early. My boss/friend was very understanding, yet concerned at how calm I was regarding this. That's what I'm concerned about. Because Opie's just like, yeah, so I'm catfishing him. He's full cheating on me. And I'm doing this whole plot. And everyone's like, okay, are you okay though?
I think at this point, it's just
Yeah.
like because I guarantee you,
Good plot.
you confront him and he's going to be like,
Yeah.
no, it's a lie.
She's
It's been
gonna
made
lie.
up. So she's just getting it to the point where it's like, you
Yeah.
can't try to lie to me. This is
No getting out of
undisputable.
this.
I was the other woman that you talked to.
So Erica came back from Italy, and there is actually a McDonald's near where they both live. I said I wanted to go there since I was exhausted and needed to get ready to be back at work the next day. I had spent all day unpacking with my sister from our trip all day and was finally free that evening. So Erica had set a time, 7 p.m. to meet there. I had left my job early to make it before the meetup time. I took a route that was close to his walk towards McDonald's. I waited at a corner until I would see him walk by, and I hopped out yelling, babe! In the meantime, I was trying to text Erica that I had just left the house and was on the way. Ooh. Juicy.
Yeah, this is
juicy.
More than just evidence now. This is
Yeah.
active torment.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
you know,
Guess he deserves.
he earned it.
Yeah. I clung to him and he was pale in the face, asking me what I was doing there. I looked at him all innocent, saying I was on my way to him when I saw him walking. He tells me he was on his way to get Chinese, and I said, okay, I'll go with you. In the meantime, while he orders, I text him as Erica, saying I was there and waiting for him. I quickly tried to look over to see a live, unique point and saw someone with a brown jacket back towards Chinese restaurant. I think OP's saying they looked over and saw someone wearing a brown jacket at the back of the Chinese restaurant. Texted that she was wearing a brown coat.
Oh.
I looked at him and he was annoyed, but I was just entertained by this. Once he got his food, I told him I'll give you a ride home, all innocently. I wasn't feeling good stomach-wise and wanted to see him before I went home. As I'm driving home, he's texting Erica that he was running late. Once we get to his house, I go to the bathroom and start messaging him as Erica saying, I think I saw you with some redhead clinging to him. I used to have red hair at the time. He responds with, oh yeah, that's my cousin from Cali. She's visiting. So can we still meet up soon? I was just showing her to the Chinese food. It was just like draw dropped. This something. presumably moron. I don't know. But okay, let's schedule another meetup. Not tonight because I got to rest, says Erica. So again, I set up another meetup for 2 days later.
Okay, no, I think at this point it's like now you can
Just leave
confront.
him. Yeah.
Get your ducks in a row and leave and move on with your life.
Yeah. I wonder.
And confront him and be like, you're pathetic, you're a loser, and can't believe you thought
Yeah, I don't know if you have to
marrying
go
me
full.
was on the agenda.
Like, it doesn't feel like you're super, like, I don't know, you might be hurt, but it doesn't feel like, right now, it just feels like you're trying to, like, really keep this charade up. It's like, let's just leave in them.
You're trying to hurt him back,
Yeah.
and it's understandable because you are hurt, but
Yeah.
you're not doing anyone any favor. You're not doing
Yeah.
yourself any favors. You're just
Yeah.
spending more time and more energy than you need to.
Same thing. I make all necessary arrangements and even ask my dear friend Angela to help me with the texting. I give her my login to the texting app, reads all the history thread, which is a bit, and gets into the persona of Erica. Same thing. I call him to see where he is. He tells me he's still at work, which is about a 30-minute drive from his house. But I had seen him leave his house to go to the meet point. I go mid-block from Coffee Place and I happen to walk by his car. I just happened to notice it was him, lol. He again looked pale in the face and rushed me to get into the car. I text Angela, it's go time. I get in and said, thought you were still at work. Why did you just lie to me? He then says that I misunderstood, that he said he was going to work. I didn't misunderstand anything, but that's just who he is. On his dashboard, Erica's name starts appearing and he's rushing to get out of the parking spot. I told him what was he doing there if he was on his way to work. He says, yeah, I just wanted my coffee, which then I said, why are we leaving then? He doesn't know what to do and the messages from Erica keep coming in.
It is funny.
It is
undeniably
really
funny.
This is a sketch right
Yeah.
here. OMG, I kid you not, I wanted to laugh so hard at this scenario. He didn't know what to do with himself, lol. I asked who this chick was, and he said it's one of his employees that he can't stand. So I was like, why are you driving away with me if you need to go to work? He looked so stressed and made a U-turn. Says that he's just going to go back home. I said, but my car's over there because I was on my way to get you coffee, but turned around because you said you were at work. You just said you misunderstood. I'm imagining him being like, you misunderstood. I was on my way to work. And she's like, what do you mean? Who's texting you? He's like, I don't know anymore. That's what I'm picturing. Then I texted to Angela to call. As soon as the phone rang, he was looking like he was going to have a nervous breakdown and ignored the call. And edit, LOL, sorry, still got a bit to tell. After that call, I say there must be an issue at the store. He said he doesn't want to deal with it, that he'll just go home. We head back to his house, and Erica is disappointed for being stood up and went back home. I read the text later on when I went home. He tells her something came up at work and had to leave in a hurry, but that he would be back home by 9:30 p.m. Time I said I would leave his house. I still stuck around till past 10. He always felt some type of way with me not just sleeping over once it was that late. This time around, he was almost rushing me out. I questioned that too. His response, oh, because I know you need your sleep and want you to rest. Okay, but OP, what are you doing during all that time at his house? Because are you guys like smooching? Because that's kind of crazy.
That would look
Right? Like you're
pretty
actively
intense.
creating a plot, but you guys are still smooching?
It's funny because like maybe like Obi's kind of into it. She's like, oh, it's like so secretive. It's
yeah,
like,
she's like, this is even better
this
than
is-
the rest of our
It's like the
relationship.
relationship starting anew.
Yeah, this is breathing new life into our
Yeah.
relationship.
She's like, this is so much more
I
interesting.
love torturing.
His
my
heart's
boyfriend.
pounding. My heart's pounding.
My head
Ah.
is reeling. Yeah. So a little backstory on Erica. Erica was engaged, but sadly the fiance cheated on her and found out a week before the wedding and with her best friend. So Erica's sister is so very protective of her. She doesn't trust any guy with her and is suspicious of OP's boyfriend for being sketchy and always canceling last minute with her sister. And let's not forget how close Erica mentioned his cousin from Cali was to him. So her sister decided to do some digging that weekend. She found out that the so-called cousin really isn't from Cali and works nearby in a hair salon. So decided to make an appointment with her.
And this is all the
This is
fictional.
all the fictional stuff that
character
OP is creating.
that is you.
On her way, she took pictures from the outside. My friend Angela and I were dying of laughter trying to get these pictures of me being stalked, lol, and send them to Erica. While I was on break, Erica was texting him. He still would try to meet up, but Erica was not having it anymore. and lets him know her sister did some digging on his cousin from Cali. Eric sent him the pictures her sister took and informed him that she was sitting in her chair getting her hair done. Now Patrick knows my work schedule and knows I don't always have my phone on me, especially if I have a client. He started blowing up my phone to call him ASAP. And in the meantime, now cursing Erica out, saying how he wasn't even interested in her, how she deserved to be cheated on. Dang. That she's a homewrecker herself. I, while at work, see this in the messages to call him, that someone's playing a prank on him. I don't call him, I don't reply, and I make sure to leave him on red all day.
So
This is like what they use at like the CIA, you know, like for torture tactics.
like
This is what they're training in there.
he's got serious skills here.
This is the most
This is like social engineering, social programming.
like thought out, in-depth catfishing, catching my boyfriend cheating plan I've ever seen.
Cannot
that
get
mean?
this level of petty revenge without the scorpion
Without the
in
stars
your chart.
aligning.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. After work, when I'm home, I finally answer him, acting all angry. I tell him I had an interesting client come in today and showed me a bunch of messages between him and some chick. He starts out crying how I believe everyone else but him, that I'm always doubting him. Starts with all the defensive and anger attitude. Then states that his friend Miguel set him up. I ask, oh really? For what? Did you tell him that you have a girlfriend? He responded that he confronted his friend Miguel and his friend told him that I can't take a joke. I wanted to pass away from laughter.
Yeah.
I said he's willing to tell me in person that it was a setup. At first, Patrick says yes, he'll arrange the meetup, but to please believe him. I asked him why he said I was his cousin and lied to me all those times that they were supposed to meet up. Oh, I just wanted to see who it was and don't want them to know my personal business/private life. I'm just like, you know, I saw all the messages. It didn't look like that. No one has to know who, but you can still say you're taken, and that's it. Bare minimum. I started saying my signal was wonky, but I don't believe him, and cut the call. He did try contacting me the following days. I responded that we'll talk when he sets up the meeting with his friend. By the way, you can set up episodes with more stories like this. Just go to OK Storytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. But there's a little bit more to this story, but because it seems like you really thought about this.
You're reveling in the torment.
Mm-hmm.
You're reveling in his anxiety and trying to shuffle up like a BS story that you already know is not going to be true. So at this point, you know, whatever. You're wasting his time. You're wasting his energy.
I guess OP
Yeah.
just wanted to see like how far this guy can just dig this
Yeah.
grave.
I guess as long
Yeah.
as it's not kind of like directly negatively impacting your life.
Yeah, as long as you're not like going out of the way to like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like you've done anything like, you know, egregiously like illegal or anything.
Yeah. But there's a little bit more to read. Almost a week after he tried getting me to talk to him again, when I mentioned the meet with his friend, he said it's not an option anymore because I don't believe him. Told him that I'm not having it. I have been happiest from then on. I seriously felt like I could breathe again. I know I should have been able to end it before with this whole setup, but the way my mental state was, the manipulation and gaslighting he did took a toll on me. It took me a while. Till this day, he never knew it was me. Well, unless he reads this, and I don't care if he finds out now. I've been much happier than I would have been if I stayed with him. That
That's
is
true.
obvious.
That's
That is a
clear.
given.
How dare you not get the satisfaction of
Yeah.
seeing the stupid look on his face
Yeah.
when you tell him, yes, it was me. No, you can't deny it.
I am sad about
All of your
that.
lies are pathetic and stupid, just like you. But hey, you got rid of the guy, so we're happy for you. I don't want my boyfriend to meet my family because I'm afraid of how they would react.
Ooh. Either your family's or your boyfriend's.
It doesn't sound like your family's very cool.
Mm-mm.
For context, I, 19 female, am from the United States and currently a second-year university student in the UK. My boyfriend, 23 male, is British, recently finished his master's, and is now working. We've been dating for 10 months, and he's my first boyfriend. By the way, this comes from user throwaway37193447. You can submit your stories too on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, he has been nothing but understanding, kind, and supportive throughout our relationship. I've met his parents and siblings twice, and both times were wonderful. His mom even told him she thinks I'm, quote unquote, the one. In late November, he asked if I'd like to spend Christmas with his family. He said everyone would love to have me there and thought it was sweet, but I declined. I've been feeling homesick and wanted to spend Christmas, a holiday that means a lot to me, with my family in South Dakota. When I told him, he seemed aloof for a few days. I went to his flat later to reassure him that I'd love to visit his family another time, but for me, Christmas is a family holiday. I now realized how that could have sounded dismissive. So he looked hurt and asked, do you still love me and aren't I your family? I reassured him that I do love him, and things seemed fine after that. About a week later, he surprised me by showing me a flight he'd booked to South Dakota for Christmas. Flights to South Dakota are expensive, especially internationally, and while the gesture was touching, I thought it was impulsive and unwise. I told him it wasn't a good idea, and for the first time, he got really upset, accusing me of not caring about him and not being serious about us, and thinking only of myself, all of which are untrue. I love him and value our relationship deeply. Knowing he was speaking out of hurt, I asked him if he can take a walk to cool off. When he returned, I explained that he meant everything to me, but I wasn't ready for him to meet my family. To be honest, I'm nervous about how my family would react. I'm white, he's Arab, and my family in rural South Dakota is not exposed to diversity. They've made ignorant comments in the past, and while they'd likely be polite to his face, I fear they might say something offensive or jokingly, quote unquote, inappropriate. They also assume that Arab equals Muslim, even though he's Christian. This ignorance embarrasses me, and I don't want to put him in a situation where he might be hurt. I didn't tell him any of this, though. That's where you're going wrong here.
Yeah, I feel like you should tell, but also I think like the main issue is that he's just kind of inviting himself.
OP is like, you mean the entire world to me. It's
Yeah.
like they are in a very serious, committed, loving relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They feel very deeply about each other. But I think it's like,
I want a red flag.
regardless of the fear that, like, you need to let him know that your family will be problems.
I think it's good to let someone know, especially if you're in a relationship with them and you want to continue that. But I think the issue here
It is weird that he booked that ticket
yeah.
as a surprise.
Yeah, and he's
That
getting
needs to
mad
be a
about
conversation.
it. Yeah.
I didn't tell him any of this, though. Instead, I said I felt it was too soon to bring someone home, as in my family that's often a precursor to engagement, which is true. He asked if he wasn't good enough, and I reassured him that he's perfect. He then mentioned that the tickets were non-refundable. I started crying, apologizing for wasting his money, which you didn't do, that was him, and saying how much I wanted him there, just not right now. He asked me to leave and said he needed space. I flew back home nearly a week ago, and since then, we've only had brief phone conversations. He still texts me, I love you and good night, but he's clearly distant and hurt. I don't know if there's anything I can do to fix this or reassure him. So am I the a-hole?
I think everyone here kind of.
I don't know if I would say OP is the a-hole at the end of the day.
I would say that, like, it's ridiculous for you to not just be upfront about why.
I think so.
You
Absolutely.
need to be like, yeah, my family is
I think
going to be
yeah.
weird about the fact that you're not white.
Yeah. I think whenever you get into like, oh, like maybe we're meeting families, you got to be like, also my family's.
You're the a-hole. Your family is pretty racist, and you might as well tell him that now. Their reaction's going to be the same if you brought him there now or 5 years from now. Your intent is selfish in nature. You're not protecting him. You're protecting yourself from the criticism you're going to get. OP says, my immediate family, mom, dad, and sister are very open and totally fine with me dating him. It's my extended family, the grandma, the aunts, the uncles, and the cousins that I'm extremely worried about. Commenter 2 says, no one's the a-hole, but in my opinion, you've both made big errors. Buying the non-refundable international ticket without telling you is very unwise, but you're not being a good partner by hiding the truth about your family from him. You're also 19, so I'm not going to say you're the a-hole. This is an a-hole move. And also, OP responds, my entire family already knows his race. My immediate family, parents and sister, are in full support and does not bother them at all. My extended family, the grandmas, the aunts, the uncles, and cousins have already made remarks about him. Most of them they tried to pass off as just jokes. Commenter 3 asks, do you push back against that? Have you made it clear to them that this is serious and they need to cut it out? Unless you're planning to go low contact with your family and live in the UK full time, this isn't going to end well. Trying to just push the meeting off into the future. OP says, my boyfriend and I want to live together in the UK once I graduate. My family doesn't know this yet, and I think this would be another reason to get mad at him. They were already livid about me going to another country for university. As for the racism, I've told them I didn't appreciate it, but most of the comments I've heard through my sister after they happened. Commenter 4 says, bold of him to book non-refundable plane tickets without talking to you. Pretty huge red flag, to be honest. You've been together 10 months. He needs to chill out. This seems controlling and clingy. When you get back, you need to be honest with him that you weren't sure your family would behave, and also that you felt him buying tickets was presumptive and moving too fast, especially because you're 19.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to rush things, and he needs to respect your boundaries. OP says, thank you so much. This was really helpful. Update. My boyfriend, 23 male, and I, 19 female, have been dating for 10 months. Yesterday, I decided to call him and try to fix things, since what I did was so wrong. I explained my family's issue with racism. He's Jordanian and I'm white, and how I was wanting to protect him and trying to handle my family's problems before he gets introduced. I acknowledged that I should have told him and handled it poorly, but would be honest with him from now on. I also told him that I had a conversation with my family about my relationship and told them any from their end would be completely unacceptable. Initially, he was understanding of my situation. He said my family didn't change the way he felt or viewed me. He was glad I was honest, and he apologized for his reactions earlier. After a while, he said that after what happened, we should lay some ground rules for each person in our relationship. I thought it was going to be things like honesty and trust and consideration, and instead, he literally gave me things that I must do in order for this relationship to be quote-unquote successful. And that's another red flag.
This is OP's first relationship, and I'm worried that he's kind of making her think, oh, well, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, rules for thee, not for me. I don't like that vibe. So, first, he told me I couldn't make decisions about things without him first. He basically said that relationships require sacrifice and compromise, which that's true. And with big things such as Christmas and vacations, I would need him to be okay with me doing these things.
No! You're 10 months into your first relationship at 19. He does not get a say on whether or not you go home for Christmas.
I mean, he kind of cooked there at the beginning when he was like, relationships require sacrifice and compromise, and it's like, that's intelligent.
And then he's like, burnt it.
But only when you sacrifice and compromise for me. It's like, no.
Bye-bye.
No. He said that it was childish of me to be in the habit of doing whatever I want. Secondly, he told me I should distance myself from my family. I actually understand his reasoning here, considering how some of them are not great people. I told him it was complicated because I still loved them despite this, which might make me just as bad. I can still see where he was coming from, so I told him that if they ever made comments about anyone in front of me, I would try to educate them, and if that didn't work, I would distance myself. He then said I was playing middleman, and that was unfair to him. He said in a few years, when we get married, I would have to make the choice. He finally told me he wants my location on at all times and wants me to go low contact with my male friends, most of which are gay anyways. This guy is digging a hole into the center of the earth.
Bye. We're breaking up.
It's bad. I told him a lot of these rules seemed over the top, and in the most patronizing tone, he said, "You've never been in a relationship before, and I'm older than you, so you should listen." The moment he said that, I thought that it didn't sound like him at all. Most of the time, he's the most easygoing, relaxed person, so I couldn't believe it. I told him I didn't appreciate being talked to like a child, and if he wanted to be someone's father, then he should look for another person. He said that while he still forgave me for what I did earlier, my behavior was a testament to how immature I am. He then said he would continue this conversation another time and hung up before we could even say goodbye. Yeah, that's great. I love how the guy being like, "You're immature," click, and hangs up. Yeah, real mature.
Super adult of you.
I feel like I partially caused this shift in his behavior by inadvertently making him insecure because of my refusal to let him come.
This dude was fighting for South Dakota, by the way.
Yeah, fighting to go to South Dakota, which, look, they got some good stuff there, okay? Not all bad. Before this, he was honestly the last person I would ever consider getting insecure. He's very good looking and has a good career and has always been confident, so I would never think he would act this way. It breaks my heart to know that I caused his actions. No, you didn't. He's responsible for his own actions, and I want to know how I can convince him to let go of the rules so things can go back to the way they were. Or am I the a-hole for declining to follow the rules, and should I just follow them? Edit, I've been in this relationship for 10 months and really do love him. I told my friends the things he said, and they've reiterated the points made here. But I guess it's hard for me to wrap my head around how he could go from such a good guy to this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but please be mindful that it's a lot more difficult for me to look at this objectively. And you know what? Yeah, it is, because it's your first relationship, and you're in love with a guy, you just think it's how it's going to work, it's going to be perfect, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, nope, sometimes things happen in a relationship and they go bad and then you break up. That's what's happening right now.
And that's how it goes.
This guy has given you every reason to break up with him now.
And now it's time to let him go.
Second edit. I appreciate everyone's comments and support. I've read every single comment and I've thought about my relationship all afternoon. I cried when I realized that I must end things. I'll be calling and texting him tomorrow morning and breaking up.
Yay!
Oh!
Yay! This is what I like to see.
We like this. This is good.
This is good
This
moves.
is actually not even good. This is great.
This is not even great. This is amazing.
Relevant comments. What is OP's boyfriend's religion and his family's background in UK? OP says he's not Muslim, but Christian, and his family has lived in the UK for 3 generations. Commenter 1, OP, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Even if I get downvoted, keep in mind, I've read the first post. 1, he comes from a misogynistic culture, even if he's not Muslim, and it's showing. A, he got angry because you chose your birth family for Christmas, even though you guys haven't been together for even a year. B, he inserted himself in your holidays with those tickets he bought. That was controlling and intrusive, not caring. C, now just because you didn't really tell them why you didn't want him there to not hurt him, he's taking that as a green flag to call you immature and assume an even more controlling stance. D, he's already used manipulation. Don't you love me? And then there's 2. There's plenty of suffering in your future if you remain with this guy. This has only just begun. Leave him and spare yourself or regret it later. The choice is yours. I mean, he was right about all of that except for the low-key. But
High-key.
Again, like,
High-key, but the thing is
clearly
that
the
he's not bringing up
Christian
religion.
background is cementing that, where it's like, wife-to-be, you must follow all of my commands.
But you can be like this guy
Just-
without it being religiously motivated. Like, you can
Sure.
still have these issues.
OP says, thank you. I've really absorbed everything you said and what others have said. I'm going to break things off. I'm not sure if I should until I'm back so it's in person or if I should just do it over the phone. It feels mean to just break up over the phone. And since our relationship was long-term, should I just do it when I get back? Does OP live with her boyfriend? OP says, we do not live with each other. Sometimes I stay over at his flat, but I live in my uni accommodations. My friends in the UK really like him. We've been in the pub together as a huge group, and it's always been a lot of fun. He's very kind and funny. They've never had any issues with him. My friends in the US don't mind him until this entire thing happened. Since they never met him in person, I would send photos of us and screenshots of our texts, and they would all say how in love we looked. Before this, he was legitimately perfect. I met him in my university's cafe where he bought me coffee and chatted me up. He was so charismatic and made me feel so special, always remembering little details and giving me random surprise gifts. He seriously has never been this uptight before. The only thing he did was express concern over a few of my male friends, but I assured him that they were gay or they didn't have feelings for me, and he let it go. Commenter 2, OP, this is classic controlling behavior. He's trying to isolate you from your family. Haven't read the other post yet, but it looks like they're inadvertently giving him the right tools to do so. He's trying to isolate you from your friends and basically everything that would provide you a place of refuge and shelter if you'd ever have to leave him. The whole I'm older so you must listen would not fly, even if he was 10 years older, but he's effing 23. That's 4 years older than you. He is still a effing immature child, maybe not legally, but certainly from the way he acts, which, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
What are the rules for him? What are the sacrifices he's going to make? Right now, all I see is him trying to basically make all the decisions for you or make you totally dependent on him while he gives up nothing. Not the a-hole. And while you go back to the UK, politely tell him to F the heck off. Commenter 3, OP, you didn't cause him to be like this. It was already there, and he latched onto the first mistake you made to show his true colors. He's using your guilt to manipulate you and control you and make it your fault. This was always what was going to happen. Nothing you did or didn't do was going to prevent it. You're 19, and you just got done being a child who had to listen to their parents. This is the time for you to make your own decisions, be independent, and do what you want within reason, obviously.
Don't do whatever you want.
Yeah, maybe don't do whatever within
do most of what you
reason.
want.
Don't go stealing the crown jewels. Don't stay in this relationship. It's not going to end well if he's already this controlling after 10 months. And we have a second update. We all know where we stand.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Freaking get into it.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to update on my previous 2 posts. I received great advice from a lot of people, and it helped me in trying to evaluate our relationship. I texted my friends about it, and they also agreed that he sounded overbearing. About an hour ago, I ended things for good. I texted him yesterday afternoon that I thought we should have a serious discussion about our relationship. He said we should wait until we have both cooled off from our earlier conversations, so I suggested tomorrow. He sent me his usual good night, I love you texts, which kind of broke me. His horrible behavior didn't erase 10 months of love that I feel for him, and it almost felt like betraying him saying the same thing back when I knew what I was going to do in the morning. Here's kind of a summarized version of the call. It was over an hour, so I condensed it as much as I could and tried to write things as quickly as the call ended so I wouldn't forget. Anyways, when I called him, he seemed very normal and calm. We talked for 10 minutes just about how things were going, Then I basically told him that I didn't want to do this, but I thought it would be best if we broke up. I said that we probably expected different things from our partners and I couldn't do what he wanted from me. After I said that, he sat in silence for like a minute. I thought the call dropped, but then he said he was processing what I had said. He asked me if this was revenge for what he said 2 days ago, and I said no. It's just a realization of incompatibility. He then said he wasn't going to change his mind on his boundaries, and me giving him an ultimatum was manipulative.
Oh my
It feels
god.
like it's not an ultimatum. I'm breaking up with you.
Guy's so up his own butt, he can't
Oh
even
my
hear the words,
God.
I'm breaking up with you. We're
He's
breaking
like,
up.
so if I said that I'd take away these rules, you wouldn't break up to me. And Opie's like, no, I'm breaking up with
Yeah.
you.
No,
It's
she's like, it's
happening.
over, actually.
Yeah.
It's funny enough.
He was like, no, that wasn't an option I gave you.
He's like, I'm not even gonna take this deal. And Opie's like, there's no deal.
Yeah.
The relationship is over.
Oh, yeah. Oops. I told him this wasn't an ultimatum. It's what was going to happen. He then kept repeating, what the F-O-P? And then told me that I didn't mean it. He asked me if I loved him still, and I said yes. And then he said he knows I'll come back. I said this was it. He said something about how we need each other and went on a rant, but I don't remember that much of it because I was crying at that point. I cut him off at the end and just said goodbye. He said he would never forgive me and I would never see him again because he was so awful, and then hung up. I immediately blocked his number, WhatsApp, Snapchat, and Insta. I do not think he'll have any other way of contacting me. And by the way, I have another way that you can be involved with this whole situation right here, the show, etc., because you can listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform of choice, be it Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever. Just search OK Storytime. Look, she's got the logo.
Got the logo right here.
On the
That's
sweater.
where you can go.
She got the logo on the sweater.
Do you have any thoughts before we get into it?
Consistently, they've been the same, which is
Yeah.
that this guy's, you're 19, you'll find a better guy.
Yeah.
You can't be dating. It's like there's no reason to be with a guy who's going to be like a prison warden.
Literally.
It's so over. And
Yeah.
and now you have the experience under your belt, be able to see these red flags in the future.
Exactly.
I do not think he will seek me out or anything, so I'm not worried about that. My university accommodation also has front desk security, and you can't get in without a key card. Thanks again, everyone. Edit, his mom just texted me, saying she was sad things ended the way they did, but she wishes me all the best. And another minor update, one of his friends tried adding me on Snapchat for some reason. Don't know if it's him using his friend's account, probably. His friend wants to know what happened, or a coincidence, he added me right when this unfolded. And then some more comments. Not the a-hole, you did the right thing. When you get back, make sure to inform campus accommodations that this person's not allowed to contact you. He also might try to see you in the buildings where you have your lectures, if those are accessible, or places where you like to shop or eat. For the next few weeks, see if you can mostly socialize in groups and with friends. Avoid being alone. OP says, thank you. Most of the buildings require an ID to get into.
Good.
Commenter 2 says, not the a-hole. Please, please, please be careful when you return. Get help to watch your back. He is not done, as he does not accept that this is over. He sees you as the dumb, immature, inexperienced girl he can mold and control the way he wants. No way will he give up this easily without fighting. OP says, thanks for the advice. I've talked to a lot of my friends in the UK, and I'm going to stay close to them for a while. Good. When I get back. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it doesn't even seem like he thinks that the relationship's over. He thinks that it's still going.
He does give a little bit of like the potentially like unhinged stalkery vibes.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to let you move on.
Yeah.
But like, so just be,
I don't trust him.
watch your back.
Keep an eye on him.
Get some nice strong blokes who hit the gym, who can give him a nice left, a nice right, a little poof pop. Maybe the 15.
Yeah.
Stalky, give him the number 15, which is a, what was it? We said left hook,
It's
left hook, jab,
no,
uppercut.
it's a pa
pop,
pa
pow. Oh, so it's,
pa.
it's jab,
Bah.
jab, uppercut,
Yeah.
nose strike, ear clap.
Yeah. Oh, and
Into
well,
the
maybe it
triple
was the nose strike
trebuchet.
after because
Is that the
Around the
move from
moon.
Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah,
Like
the
what Robert Downey-
discombobulate.
Yeah.
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 That's
So it's the
literally-
nose, the palm strike. So that's the discombobulate. And then palm strike to the nose.
Yeah.
Into the triple trebuchet, around the moon, through the sun, through the Oort cloud, into the black hole, turns into
Tartarus.
spaghetti, no longer exists, except in Tartarus, where James Gandolfini's ghost and the pigs that he wrangles are waiting to consume him.
Whoa.
Feels like, what the heck
I
is
didn't-
that?
you weren't
that was
tuned into
new.
that?
That was new.
Yeah, so that's where the black hole goes. The
Man.
black hole that turns them into spaghetti,
Goes into Tartarus.
it sends the spaghetti to Tartarus, and in Tartarus are pigs that are looked after by the spirit of James Gandolfini because he ran
Sopranos.
the deli, Satriali's deli from
It's
the
Tony
Sopranos.
Soprano.
There's a pig on the building that he always sits in front of. My boyfriend cheated on me. Now he wants to open the relationship?
That's the wrong order. What are you doing?
Not the right way to do that. Trigger warning, this story involves somebody really caught in the middle of the cycle of an abusive relationship, of there's just like the forgiveness and the denial and the forgiveness and all this stuff. And it's been driving me crazy. I don't know if you could tell. But if you don't want to hear that, like if you can't handle a story with that, then please skip this one. The 10th of February, 2018. This has been weighing on me for a very long time, for about the entire duration of my 2.5-year-long relationship. And I've never talked to anyone about this. Wow. I found out my boyfriend had been cheating maybe 6 months into our relationship. What ensued for about the next 1.5 years was an endless cycle of him cheating and then displaying a dramatic gesture of guilt and promising he'll change. By the way, this comes from user Lemony. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, this made my last year of college quite miserable. It seemed like once a month, my roommates would wastedly sit me down on a Saturday night and tell me they saw him doing insert any promiscuous activity here with someone. Needless to say, it was humiliating. I spent late nights taking care of him while he was incomprehensibly messed up. He would lash out at me and then apologize and repeat. This sounds like case closed, right? Yeah, no, it does.
Right?
It really does. Like, I'm sorry, but
There's got to be other things going on. If this isn't it, if this is like obvious to us and probably obvious to OP in hindsight, there's got to be other things going on
sometimes
keeping them there.
you just get blind sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, it happens.
All of this breaking and mending of trust truly broke me. I started picking fights and being an overall angry and irrational person towards him. For a good reason. I resented him more than I have resented anyone in my life. The problem is, I also loved him deeply. And I know this is a played out and really dumb justification for being in an unhealthy relationship, but the good times were really good. We have a lot of fun together, and he always assured me that he loves me, so I kept going back. Still should be case closed, right? The last day of college, he was moving out and did that familiar thing that is dramatically displaying his love for me and telling me that things were going to be different. At this point, I feel so broken that it doesn't even matter if he kept cheating. It's normal now. I get hurt, I try to forgive, and I resent. It's familiar and comfortable, and the thought of breaking up still puts a rotten feeling in my stomach. Since that last day, he started to actually change. He explained that he doesn't believe in monogamous relationships and often lashed out as a result of feeling forced into one. His destructive and inflammatory behavior stopped. He's living healthier, and he seems overall happier. So I took a good old college try at the open relationship. Basically, I went on 2 Tinder dates, I hooked up on one of them, and really did not enjoy it. I feel much more happy and at ease being romantically involved with someone with whom I have a deep connection, instead of just acting on physical connection. Not only did I find it particularly exhausting, but it didn't feel like I was doing it for the right reasons. It only felt like I was trying to get back at my boyfriend. I'm sorry, but I have very little sympathy for you at this point because you seem so acutely aware of how you feel and how you felt in the moment that I find it hard to believe that you like didn't have this optic. Like, what? Is it hot? Was he just that hot? Well, I guess she kind of cracked the door when it was like he cheated and she was like, all right, I guess we'll stay together.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, now he just has the get out of jail free card every time.
Yeah.
And it's like every time he cheats, he can just be like, whoa, I'm going to fix it.
Now he knows what to say to get her to agree.
They've got the routine down.
Exactly.
After all the push and pull and manipulation, I can't shake the resentment I have towards him, which is fair. I really do want to try to completely forgive and stay in his life, which is nonsense. However, it seems the only way that can still happen is if I'm content with an open relationship, and I still can't tell if I am or not. Maybe it's just too soon and the wounds haven't healed, you know? I'm confused because he openly tells me about any hooking up that he does. He recently kissed a good friend of his, which is what prompted this post. And I'm not sure if what I feel is jealousy in the present moment or if it sends my emotions back to the really bad paranoia-filled days when I was never told the truth. It could be a little bit of both, but either way, it doesn't feel great, but also not necessarily terrible. I'll be honest, it feels a lot better now that he doesn't hide any of it from me. I know that the healthiest thing to do here is to just break it off. I'm sorry, OP. I have love for you, but also leave this trash can of a human being.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
It's okay. I'm sure what you're feeling right now is what they're feeling inside, and this is like the turmoil that's going on inside of them right now. So
I am your turmoil translator.
that's personified. That's what it is.
All right, we're going to keep going. There's just been too much broken trust and too much negativity for this to mend itself. But I'm sure many of you know it's not that easy. We care about each other deeply. We enjoy each other's company and pretty much never stop smiling and laughing when we're together. Well, except for, when he cheats on you. And I feel like now, since we're both trying to focus on happiness and positivity, things could get better quickly. If only I could make up my mind on how I feel about this. And at this point, it feels impossible to break up unless I have some kind of eternal sunshine of the spotless mind-like mechanism. I care very much about this person, and I feel like I'd do anything to, quote, make it work. Also, I'm aware that I have been pretty foolish up to this point. I can't seem to justify to myself or anyone else my desire to stay in the relationship. And I also can't bring myself to leave. Perhaps I've put too much faith into one person. Yes, I'm hoping that feedback on this will bring me clarity. I can't imagine what Reddit commenters are about to say to you.
Dude, it's gonna be unhinged.
Get ready to wake up to reality. Whether that's telling me I'm an idiot and should leave immediately or that things are looking up and it will work out in time, I welcome and appreciate it. What do you make of all of this? What would you do? Do I just lack all self-respect? Or is there anything potentially redeeming about my excessive hope and undeserved trust? If y'all thought that was bad, let's get into these comments.
John, we're going to get back to the story,
Yeah.
but you're old.
You're as old as me now, pal.
I might be as old as you, but I feel like you have oodles more wisdom.
I've got some wisdom in this old noggin.
You got a
baby.
piece of wisdom for me right now?
Always respect your
And I think the other piece of wisdom that I've learned from John is join OK Storytime memberships.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Get it now while I'm still alive.
Now back to the story.
From Deleted, nobody here can make you break up with him. If he's been treating you like that for years and you keep taking it, I don't think anything anyone says will make a difference. I will say, I think what you're doing is what most people in your situation are doing, and it's like an extreme form of procrastination. You don't want to deal with what seems like a huge problem, the breakup, the sadness, the parting ways, the starting over. So instead, you're putting it off, ignoring it, knowing on some level you are making an even bigger, unfixable problem for yourself. A serial cheating boyfriend, constant embarrassment from friends and family, a lifetime of unhappiness. So deal with the breakup now or deal with everything else. I don't know. The breakup is immediate great pain now, but definitely better than the life you're setting yourself up for. OP. I know you're right.
Yay!
Actually doing it sounds like such a big hurdle, and I'll probably fight with myself about it some more, but I know with full clarity that you're right. Still leaving a little bit of wiggle room in there to stay with him, though, OP. Deleted says he's getting everything he wants while you suffer, then he throws it in your face when he essentially brags about his conquests to you. He's not a good person, and you deserve better. It will only get worse if you continue to take it. Dragonflies Love Me responds, I mean, he just doesn't sound like the guy for you, or many others who want stability in a relationship, but anywho, he sounds extremely selfish and self-serving. This relationship does not sound fulfilling to you at all. Try to picture what your best future relationship could look like with person X, somebody you don't yet know. In this hypothetical relationship, I don't think you'd be feeling the negative emotions you're feeling now. That's not what you aspire to or what you need. You are a loyal person, but your loyalty is misplaced in your current relationship. Find somebody who really values and appreciates it, not just their own selfish ends, and honors you. You are also at the right age to learn that your feelings such as love and self-sacrifice are not always enough to sustain a relationship. Sometimes relationships don't work out, but you can move on to a better one. Stop treating him like some sort of crutch that you need, but it's actually bad for you. And trust yourself to move on and that the future will be better. OP says, this is the most constructive and helpful thing I've read so far, so thank you. I understand that I'm far from where I need to be. I've handled breakups in the past fairly well, even one that was longer than this one. I've just never felt paralysis and hopelessness on this scale before. I know he's treated me like garbage, and I know what I should do, but this whole situation honestly has clouded my judgment so densely that I make 1.5 million excuses to stay, which is clearly evident in my original post. That's what I get for never letting those thoughts leave my own head until now. God, this is messed up. In any case, this made me feel 0.5% more confident, and I appreciate it. And there's an update.
Wow, I'm feeling very hopeful for this update. Like, please.
Please, for the love of all that is holy, tell me that you have left this man. Not that I tried really hard to find it before now, but curiosity got the best of me after recalling a bunch of well-meaning strangers basically responding, WTF. The feeling of shame was visceral. I fully understood I was in an effed up relationship, but couldn't find the courage or self-respect to leave. It was the immense dissonance that I can't describe to this day, and I have a hard time talking about it in therapy still. It was just surreal and painful reading it. There were a few very compassionate yet stern comments, which I am grateful for in retrospect. And by the way, I'd be grateful right now if you listen to full episodes with stories like this. Except I don't lose my mind. Just, you know what, just go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts to listen to 47 days, consecutive days worth of stories where, honestly, the tolerance level for the BS is probably a little higher. But we're just going to truck right on through to the end of this story. Anyway. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I had to say it. Let's go. Let's go.
What does it say?
Anyway, I, 29 female, am now married to the most wonderful, caring, loving, respectful, sweet person on this planet.
Woo!
Who I am excited to have a future with instead of being full of dread. We've been together for 5 years and married for a few months, and I'm really happy that post feels like it was written by a different person in a different lifetime. Life feels so much lighter than it used to.
Oh,
There's
good.
no other point to this post except maybe to comment that manipulation is one hell of a drug. Comments, that is nice to hear. How'd you get out? OP says, I would have loved to say I wised up and did it myself, but obviously I was in very deep and it took him breaking it off because it just reached ungodly levels of misery and resentment. I guess I will never know if I would have come to the same conclusion myself, but I'd really hope so. I try to have compassion for my past self and remind myself that my view of relationships had really been warped at that time and all judgment was just so cloudy. Real Hamster says, now that you have more perspective, do you understand what it was that made you love him so deeply in spite of everything? OP says, I think I can attribute that to a lot of low self-esteem. It's like I'll never find anyone. Like, this is the best person and I'll never find them.
And he's probably telling her that, though, too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that the self-esteem was lowered because of things that he said.
Oh, yeah. He's like, by the way, I'm also your only option.
Yeah. And
Scumbag.
I mean, if this was 7 years later and she's now 29, she was only 22 when it broke off, and they were together for a few years. That's young. Like the breakups she probably had were like high school level breakups. You know, that's yeah, very, very difficult.
I sort of put him on this pedestal of smarter than me and better than me in every way from the start. So when things started to fall apart, in my mind, it was obviously because of something I was doing and not him. After so many times of him cheating and making excuses for him, I started to feel a lot of shame because I knew deep down I was being foolish, which made me defensive of the relationship. Like when my friends would confront me about it, in my head, I would just be like, they don't get it. They're not in this relationship. So they don't understand.
Exactly.
Which is, my heart goes out to you.
This is all textbook stuff.
It was easier to hold the mirror up to others than to myself, so I would just dig my heels in. It was always, I just need to change something about myself for this to work, but it will work, which I think is evident in my original post. So low self-esteem and shame just kind of feeding off of each other in that cycle. That's my best guess.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that is the end of that story.
Wow.
And
Have
it's
you
like,
ever been so relieved that a story ended?
maybe never in my life have I been so relieved. And folks, listen to your friends. If everyone in your life is saying, don't just swallow that bitter pride pill and say, I gotta listen to my, if you've had friends for years.
Yeah.
If you've had friends for years and years telling you that this is bad and you know in your gut that it's bad, like, do it. Do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Do it.
Right. And I feel like in so many of the situations, it's like, oh no, he like says he loves me and he like does this to like care about me and to make up for things. It's like, okay, if he's saying that he loves you and isn't acting like he loves you, then he doesn't love you, or at least not in the way that you should be loved.
Actions speak louder than words.
It's so cheesy and it's hard to believe, I think, when you're in that situation and when you're in early on in dating, but it is so true time and time again.
Truly.
Actions definitely speak louder than words.
And OP, this is not your fault. All right.
Oh gosh.
I've just had a rough morning.
Again, this is just the turmoil personified right here. So
And
don't take it personally.
I did not have the patience. I'm glad you didn't come to me when you were 22 and tell me about this, because I would have been so over it.
Almost everyone who is in this kind of situation, this is exactly what happens.
Yes.
Like in abusive and
Yes.
manipulative relationships. 100%. So don't worry. It's not your fault. If anyone's listening and you're in this situation, listen to yourself.
Yes.
If you married
Please.
this person and had kids with them, would you want to tell them that this is what their dad did?
Yes.
And would you think that that's okay for them to get into a relationship?
Yes.
No.
Please, for the
Exactly.
love of God, if you feel like this story is you, get out of there.
Please.
You figure, and it's not as simple as just doing it, but like start making the plan.
It's worth it.
Lean on a support system. They will want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
We refused to invite my sister-in-law's boyfriend's daughter to our child-free wedding. They were furious.
Well, it's child-free, ma'am.
I, 29 female, and my fiance, 29 male, get married in July of 2025. We sent our invitations out fairly early because we are limited on numbers for the day ceremony and wanted the chance to bump the evening guest up, who we have wanted there if we had the space and money was no object. By the way, this comes from Helpful Arrival 33, and if you want to submit your own stories, please go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. We have opted for a no children wedding with the exception of our 2 beautiful children, our niece and 4 nephews, and our own friends, 6-month-old, who are traveling all the way from Oregon to the UK for our big day.
Wait, so there's like we're having no children, but we're having children.
I am an only child, but my fiance has 3 sisters, 2 older and younger one. The eldest sister, let's call her Karen, has been in a relationship for the last year with her boyfriend. Let's call him Jeff. On initially meeting Jeff, he seemed all right, fairly quiet, and not the extrovert like my fiance's family, but I had put that down to him being new in the family. I am an only child and can confidently say coming into this family can be a little overwhelming, but I love them all. A little backstory: in October of 2023, we went out to celebrate my soon-to-be father-in-law's 60th birthday. We went out for a meal and then to an underground piano bar that had live music and a fun vibe. At the beginning of the meal, my fiance and I were one of the first to arrive, and I had found myself a seat. My fiance's dad chose to sit next to us. My fiance lived with his dad when his parents divorced, and it's pretty obvious that he is their dad's favorite child. When everyone else started arriving, I got up to say hello to all my in-laws and catch up. Karen walked over to my seat where my coat and bag were and said loudly, "I'm gonna sit here!"
You just scared everyone.
And moved my belongings further down the table. She has main character syndrome, MCS, main character syndrome, and wanted to be next to her dad to make his birthday about her. I was a little taken back as I've always gotten along with all of my fiance's family, and said, I guess I'll move then. Probably slightly passive aggressive, but I'm a Capricorn and can never hide how something makes me feel. Karen ran up to my fiance and said, "Your fiance has been so effing rude to me. You better have a word with her." To which my fiance came up to me and asked me, "What happened?" I explained what had happened, and he rolled his eyes when we sat down at the end of the table. The food ran behind. We were going to be late for our reservation at the piano bar. So I offer to walk ahead and grab the tables for everyone. Eventually, everyone arrives at the piano bar, and Karen and Jeff are being so cold to me, won't talk to me, and sit, keeping themselves to themselves. Whilst everyone else is socializing and enjoying the celebrations. After 30 minutes, they quickly leave without saying goodbye. When we tried to find out where they were, they said that Jeff has problems with his ears and the music is too loud. So they went upstairs where it was quiet, except when we went to check, they weren't there.
A suspicious lack of existing where you should be. That's interesting.
We didn't hear from them for the rest of the night until Karen started witching and moaning that we didn't check on them and everyone was too busy being around moi. On the way home in the taxi, my father-in-law told me that Karen has been saying that she never really liked me anyway and that my fiance and I won't last. I was really hurt by these comments because I love my fiance and I love his family like my own. In the following days and weeks, this caused a lot of drama in the family. My fiance backed me and told his sister she needed to apologize to me and that she cannot talk to me or about me like that. Eventually, everything gets squashed, or we just thought. Karen and Jeff continued making snide comments, but we chose to rise above it. Fast forward to April 2024.
John, we're going to get back to the story, but I got to tell you, I've been loving these pearls that I got in Colombia.
You are a delicious beaded man nowadays.
I do feel more confident at the very least, but I think these pearls pale in the amount of confidence an OK Storytime membership can get you.
That's right. You get 60 plus hours a month of exclusive live stream content. That's advice that'll make you the best version of yourself.
And it's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Crack open that oyster and get the blues. But let's get back to the story.
My fiance and I had just landed back from Monteago after going away for a little baby moon. I was pregnant with our second child at this time, and World War X had begun. We were receiving calls and texts from all different family members saying that Karen and Jeff and my fiance's mom and her partner had a falling out. Okay, still to this day, we have no clues what it was all about. Karen was demanding that we take her side. We simply told her that it's nothing to do with us and we would not be falling out with anyone when we haven't been in the country or know what has even happened. For reference, Karen loves drama and over-exaggerates everything. Jeff was calling my future mother-in-law and her partner's names. He hadn't even met them, and I think it became a game of who could defend themselves best. Karen stopped speaking to her mom and her partner for several months because of Jeff. Wow. I thought Jeff was a nice guy initially, but seeing how he made comments about family members he didn't even know and also noticing his controlling behavior, I was a little wary of him. Fast forward to a few months ago when my fiance received a message from Jeff saying that he couldn't attend the wedding as he had his daughter that weekend. We had never met his daughter. My fiance said it was a shame, but do not worry. Then Karen messaged saying we should just invite his daughter to the wedding. My fiance politely said no, as we had never met her and that it was a child-free wedding apart from the few exceptions.
No, you just don't say that. You can't say it's a child-free wedding. Just say no.
Yeah.
Just be like, nah, that's a stranger's.
It's not a child-free wedding when there are 8 children at this wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just
so
have to be like,
Stop using that as an excuse. It's not an excuse.
I think they thought, oh, let's just say it's a child-free wedding so we can be non-confrontational about this.
Yeah, it's like you just need to be like, the only kids at the wedding are like close family, so no.
Karen continued to go on, saying we were being unfair and that why we should let our friend bring a 6-month-old baby, but her boyfriend couldn't bring his daughter. My fiance tried to explain that it would be unfair because even though I have no siblings, I do have cousins who have children that we are very close to and aren't invited to the wedding. This all led to us being blocked by Jeff. I have to add that he's 49 but acting like a 14-year-old. I understand it's my fiance's sister's boyfriend, but given the drama that has come with them being together, I don't want that atmosphere on our big day. Jeff has known about our wedding for over a year and could have easily have swapped weekends with his daughter's mom if he wanted to be there. He chose not to because my daughter will be confused why she's not invited to a family wedding. I will add that if they had been together for a longer period of time and we had met his daughter, she would have been invited. But to include his daughter now would mean having to uninvite someone else due to capacity. And they also have a capacity limit. Karen and Jeff are now talking to my mother-in-law, but refuses to talk or be around her partner, which is already bad enough, and has threatened to call the police on him. We still have no idea what's going on, as we have chosen not to get involved, but I will clarify my mother-in-law's partner is not abusive to her. He's a brilliant man. Jeff has called the whole family deluded and does not seem to actually want to be involved in this family. So, are we the a-holes for not inviting Jeff's daughter to our child-free wedding?
No, but also you're an a-hole for continuing to call it a child-free wedding when it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not that. That's not what it is.
You have a capacity limit and you invited your closest family who have children, and that's fine. Edit just to add, yes, I have realized having immediate family's children attending is a little controversial. 2 of them are Karen's sons. Our children, being the youngest, will be then going to our suite with a babysitter during the evening reception. And if you have any evening reception plans, you should go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime, and what will be waiting for them to go to?
Literally 47 days worth of podcasts that you can listen to.
Sorry if this makes us the a-holes for wanting our own children there, which you are. They are in the wedding party, but that's how all of our friends and family that have got married have done it and not had any other children. And never in a million years would I ask our first-time parent friends to travel across the world to our wedding without their 6-month-old. As it currently stands, she is coming alone and Jeff isn't attending. But I have been warned by my in-laws not to put it past her and try to change her allocated seat at the wedding breakfast or try and cause a scene on the day. I could give 100 stories on the couple to give you a better understanding of their character and the drama they have caused. She's practically estranged from her family since meeting him, but I don't have the time. And we do if you ever do want to do it again. And if you guys have any crazy stories, go to r/OK Storytime and submit them. My boyfriend uninvited me from Christmas, but still wants me to buy expensive gifts for his kids.
Divorce, jail, out the Sentry pod into the Orc Cloud, whatever it is. Do all that.
So this post was written on Christmas Eve. If you look at my post history, I escaped a violent man a while ago and got back with an ex who was cold, but at least not as harmful, but is lazy and passive, and there was too much family drama. He has 2 kids, 8 and 10, and now I'm back in the drama. By the way, this comes from Any Swimming 23, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So he also never told me he loved me. That is beside the point.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Oh my gosh.
He's not that into you. He hasn't said I love you in 10 years. Not a great sign.
That's not helpful.
It's not a good sign.
His kid's mom has always been awful to me, and he never stands up for me. We broke up when she screamed at me when I came with him to pick up the kids, threw me out, and he didn't say anything. It was literally my first interaction with this woman. There is no history that I know of. I don't recall ever meeting this woman, 39 female, before I dated Phil, and to my knowledge, I have no friends in common with her except my hairstylist, who is a nice woman. But John, you know what hairstylists be doing, man.
What are they doing? Oh, they do be talking.
She honestly freaked me out, coming at me screaming at our first meeting. They had been divorced 7 years ago, so it's not like it's new. Anyway, we are back together, and initially I was invited to his Christmas dinner. I grew up in a cult and have no family since my disabled mother fell into eternal sleep.
Okay, I'm sorry, but in that one sentence was those like 4 insane Reddit stories on it. Though. You grew up in a cult. You're back together with a terrible boyfriend from the past. And what was it about the mother again?
Disabled mother fell into eternal sleep.
On Christmas?
No. Like,
she did. She's, it was in the past.
So she had no family since her mother fell into eternal sleep.
Yeah.
So she has no one to turn to, basically.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
He knows this. Now, baby mama is insisting that he cannot see the kids at all if I'm there. So he asked that I find something else to do on Christmas. While we're only recently got back together, we were together for a year before that. But again, no, I love you. And I felt more like a friend to him. Sometimes I wonder if he's loved men and I was his beard. Oh, and I was his beard. Another crazy update.
Dude, where's the DNA test? I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for it right now. Inheritance. God, haven't had a good inheritance one in a while.
Oh, definitely some cheating about to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He doesn't drive, so he asked me to take him to the mall to shop for gifts. I bought expensive gifts for his kids. He wants me to take him grocery shopping and leave the gifts for his kids and leave my dog so they can play with her, but then go away until they're gone? I have a friend who kindly invited me, so we're going to hang out, and he says I'm being dramatic and selfish when I tell him I'm just going to get my money back for the gifts. Should I return the gifts or not? If I was John, give me back my money, Fry. We're taking all this to Amazon.
Yeah, I went on a date at 20 and Venmo requested for $4. I did that, okay? Am I ashamed? Maybe. Did I eventually find a woman who we were on the same page with all that stuff? Yes, I did. So no regrets.
No regrets.
None.
I heard it here.
You heard it here first.
Wow.
Something Riley would never do, by the way.
Never.
Ever.
Have I? No. Dude, that is crazy. Just like, okay, give me, bye.
Yeah, please. I just hope there's an update where like I finally ran away, but I'm not hopeful.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Update. Thank you all for the kind comments, and really, the unkind comments were helpful by showing me what kindness looks like. Who's being unkind to this?
I mean, well, maybe people are like, girl, leave him.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
To answer people's questions, I've only been free of my controlling narcissistic mother for 4 years, even though we escaped the cult 10 years ago. I am still learning to cope. I am in therapy, but my therapist's focus has been to help me build and keep relationships with people. So she tends to explain how to see things from the other person's perspective. Her suggestion was that I can leave, but also maybe have empathy for Phil's lack of emotional intelligence and grow a thicker skin. I might need a better therapist.
Yeah. Fire them right now.
Please.
Dude.
You just need thicker skin.
Just take one on the chin, champ. This is
we're going backwards. We can't.
Oh, he never told you I love you. Man, that's child's play. You got this. You're
Oh
strong.
my gosh. I was raised to believe I am worthless and don't deserve kindness. It has taken 3 years of therapy just to have the confidence to make friends and date at all. I told Phil that I am taking the gifts back, and he has been begging me to give him another chance. I am working on the strength to walk away.
That's great.
Let's go, girl.
We love that.
Notable comments. For God's sake, you are not ready to be in a relationship. You need time to build your self-respect. Says ultimate pragamist. Please break up with Phil. You deserve so much better. If he has keys to your home, change your lock ASAP. Please protect your dog as well. He might try to guilt you into giving your dog to his kids, or he might ask you to let your dog stay with him for a few nights every other week, and then they will not return your dog. If he has keys to your place, he might try to dog nap your dog. He has the nerve to ask you to spin your dog over for Christmas, but not allowing you to stay. It's absurd, disrespectful, and downright cruel.
I didn't catch that. That is crazy. Oh, your dog's invited.
Yeah.
But you can't go. And sorry, is that also OP's bio children there, or that's the children of the bad partner? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey, give me something. Give me
Because
some
she
family.
references his kids, not our kids
Yeah.
or my kids.
Right.
Like his kids. Return all the Christmas gifts. He's using you as an ATM. He's going to take all the credit for gifts you bought. He's not going to gift his kids anything. He's depending upon you and your generosity and thoughtfulness. Sadly, I would not be surprised if he did not get you a gift. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be valued as a person. You deserve to be loved and cared for. You deserve someone who will protect you, defend you, and stand up for you. You deserve to be a priority. You deserve someone who will love you unconditionally and be grateful to you in their life. You do not deserve deserve this cuckold efferat'll do who is taking you for granted and taking advantage of you. He has shown you are not a priority. He has shown you more concern for his ex. He's showing you who he is. He's showing you you are not important to him. Please listen to his actions. I took some acting classes for that one.
Dude, delivery 11 out of 10.
Dang.
And then 2, yes, that was everything that needed to be said. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Just some more comments saying like, get out of there.
Yeah.
But we got a freaking update.
Oh my God.
December 27th, 3 days later. I was shocked at how everyone said boyfriend is wrong. I really thought most people would be team baby mama and tell me I'm awful for not cooperating with being asked to leave expensive gifts and my dog for my boyfriend's kids on Christmas, but leave the house as I'm not allowed to. Yeah, like you say all the time, people get so they have to go out somewhere else to see the truth.
Yeah, building up that self-esteem and self-worth. And that sounds like all the men that were in her life before all treated her horribly. And she... literally with this guy, she was like, well, he wasn't like the worst guy ever. He was just like cold and never said I love you. So like that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
It's like, nah.
Because that is what most of my friends, okay, I have 5 friends, told me. They told me relationships are work and compromise and that the baby mama and babies must always come first. Even suggested I help cook dinner for them.
OP, literally everyone you talk to that's not like, you know, your grocery store clerk or something, literally cut them off immediately.
Most of my friends are actually my late mom's friends, women over 60.
Yeah,
I started
makes sense.
therapy when I was crippling shy. And to defend my therapist, and only thanks to her, that I stopped sitting alone in my house, totally isolated, and learning to connect with other people. While I appreciate the suggestion to be alone for a while, I have been super isolated most of my life, and dating again was actually huge progress for me that we worked on for months. I told my therapist that Phil crossed the line and I don't want to save relationships with him or my friends.
Yes.
I want to improve my self-esteem. Her emphasis has always been on avoiding isolation at all costs and learning to endure other people's imperfections. But like, I see the therapist's point, but not around this is doing the opposite effect.
Yeah, I feel like this therapist is just like totally clocked out and is just like, yeah, try to be good and like build connections and relationships. And it's like, nah, therapist, these people are evil.
Yes.
Run away from them. Like that is what, listen, we are not licensed therapists, but we're better than them. So we tell them to run away. Go us.
She's agreed that this Christmas incident was really bad. I am still processing all this. I am surrounded by people who encourage me to be a doormat, and I am still shocked at what others thought. I really thought Phil and baby mama were right, and 48 hours is not enough time to process that maybe my whole worldview is totally messed up. I went to my friend Mary's house and realized that she's maybe my only real friend. She didn't judge, told me Phil is nuts, and we had a great time with her family. I left my dog with a neighbor since her oldest is nonverbal and can be unsafe with animals. I sent him a Venmo request for the money I spent on gas and gifts, and he paid it. Phil threw baby mama out at 2 p.m. and begged me to come home. I got my dog back from the neighbor, took out the cheapest gifts, and he made his kids thank me and play with the presents, which felt very awkward as he tried to beg them to engage with me while they were on their phones. We hung out with his kids for around an hour. Baby mama came back and refused to get out of her car. Phil is now telling me he loves me and wants to marry me, etc. I don't know what to do. John, what is that?
He wants this money.
Yep.
He wants you to cook for him, but you need to run. You need to run away.
He's just love bombing. That's like
That's
he's
true,
saying
yes.
all the things he can to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have been reading nonstop on narcissistic abuse these past few days.
Good.
I'm seeing that Phil is just like my mom and that this is maybe what she did, hovering. But again, I am fighting to stop being totally isolated, which I did for years after leaving the cult. I had no friends. Never dated. It's laughable the number of people who accused me of desperately needing a man. Phil is my first boyfriend. We met when I was 31-year-old virgin with no friends. Oh. Dude. So yes, being alone is grand, but I have been alone all my life and fought hard to stop wanting to be alone. Learning to talk to people outside of work topics, have social skills, etc. has been a big battle. I'm not autistic, but I read that way because after age 7, I was the only kid left in our cult/commune, and I have no social skills and prefer to be alone to an unhealthy degree.
I forgot about the whole cult. I literally forgot there was a whole cult situation. What? Dude. Oh my God. I literally forgot she was in a cult.
Yeah.
Golly, they really, well, honestly, hearing the part about her mom is like, oh, she's probably seeking people that have character traits like her mom to get their approval, and then realizing like, wait a second, y'all
I don't know what to do. Maybe Phil grew a spine. Maybe it's hovering. I am standing up to him, though. I'm looking at finding new friends and hanging more with Mary, who said I am always welcome at her home. But we have an update.
Please tell me some.
I'm glad she's kind of like standing up for herself.
Right?
Stopping the cycle.
We are in a good direction.
Yeah.
I hope we keep going.
Yes,
that way.
Exactly. Update 2, January 20th of 2025.
Whoa.
1 month later.
Recent.
If you recall, my boyfriend threw me out on Christmas because his baby mama would not let him see his kids unless he uninvited me to Christmas. He expected me to leave behind the expensive gifts I bought his kids, take him grocery shopping, he can't drive for medical reasons, and leave my dog with him to play. I have a history of social isolation and have one friend of my own age. So I had no one to tell me how bad this was and no other social outlets. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There was another relevant update. Phil arranged a small Christmas gift opening for me, him, and his kids. He finally told me he loved me and wants to marry me. After a whole year, dude, he did it. Doesn't about it.
Not even in the slightest. You know who he loves? Your dog.
Ooh.
That's who he loves.
And yo, money.
That is so crazy.
He then offered to let me move in with him, but then hit me up to buy a sofa. A few days later, I was out of gas. He got out to pump the gas, asked for my credit card. He would not even chip in for gas, even though I take him everywhere. A couple of weeks ago, I noticed that I am out of kitchen knives. Like utensil drawer was just emptier and emptier. I have a cleaning lady and figured maybe she put them someplace weird because she has spaced out. But she's sweet, but more ADHD than I am, which is a lot. They were in Phil's utensil drawer.
He's taking her spoons and her forks and her knives, dude.
He has been stealing utensils from me?
Yep. He's like, oh, that's weird. Where did it go? We must have put it somewhere. No, Phil's just taking him.
For some reason, this was it. Today, I blocked him. And what's it?
You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh, P.
I'll take it.
That was a ride, dude. That
Bro.
was crazy.
I told my neglectful partner that I'm not leaving him. I lied.
This is the best time to lie.
The intrigue. Throwaway account because my partner goes to my phone but doesn't know how to switch Reddit accounts. Sounds like they're dumb. I, 19 non-binary, have been with my partner, 19 male, for almost 3 years now. We met in high school, and during our senior year, I got pregnant. Ooh. Senior year pregnancy. Does that mean your baby graduates too? Does your baby have a degree? I think it counts. Baby with a GED. By the way, this comes from Disastrous Abalone 415. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So when we found out about the baby, we moved in together and he was amazing. He drove me wherever I needed. I don't have a driver's license. Let me pick out safe foods, because you know those foods aren't safe. And overall, made sure I was well taken care of, especially since it was a very difficult pregnancy. Once our daughter was born, everything changed. He refused to take me anywhere except appointments and getting groceries. He didn't help with the house or the baby, and he was constantly belittling me for not doing enough, all while I was trying to juggle our daughter. You shouldn't do that. That sounds dangerous. The home, as well as my mental and physical health. I think she's speaking metaphorically here about juggling. He wouldn't let my mom or aunt come over and help with anything because it makes him look bad. Well, maybe you're making yourself look bad by not helping.
You ever thought of that?
You ever thought of that?
Huh?
Huh?
Come
Are we the
on.
first to tell you to think about that? Whenever I've tried to talk to him about things that are bothering me, he plays it off as me being sensitive and overdramatic because of the hormones.
Women and emotions.
Can't live with him. Can't live without him.
Our daughter's now 6 months old, and I've asked him several times to help out more. We decided he would do dishes and vacuum, and those would be his only chores because I have a hard time with them due to sensory overload. Well, he rarely does the dishes and only vacuums if we're expecting a visitor, which he rarely allows me to have. That's the reddest flag of all. You don't allow your partner to have visitors? I feel like that's a hot take, or maybe not so so hot take. If your partner is policing who you can't hang out with, I think it's too controlling.
I think that makes sense.
But he also gets upset if I leave the house to visit friends and family, even if he's at work. All in all, I'm done with it. I've talked to him time and time again, and I can't take it anymore. And here is where I might be the a-hole. All right. This is where we all decide who is a-hole and who is not. Who and who lives. I was talking to my mother about how he's planning to leave once I had sold some of my stuff and had enough money saved up. A few days later, he went through my phone and saw the messages about, I guess, her leaving the relationship. When he asked me about them, I told him it was just a heat of the moment thing and I wasn't actually going to leave. What do we think about that? Because I think
he went through her phone. I mean,
because he's controlling.
Typical.
What do you think, James?
I think she should leave him anyways, even if it was a heat of the moment thing.
Yeah.
We don't do controlling in
We
this
don't do
house.
controlling. No.
No, sir.
No,
ma'am.
sir-ritos.
No.
I feel like they're so young. She probably doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
You know, she thinks
Like
this
a
is what
first
love
relationship.
is like.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
It's always the 19-year-old relationships that get you.
I
They're
know.
too young. They're too young to have a baby, I think. in my
Yeah, well, they're
opinion.
having one.
Do they have enough money for this? Come on.
It doesn't matter. It's coming out. Well, I wasn't actually going to leave. Don't get me wrong. I'm not worried about him getting physical. The fact that you have to say that is concerning. If he knew I was going to leave, as he's never been like that. My reason for lying is that if he knew the truth, he'd either punt us out straight away and I wouldn't have any time to prepare, or he'd beg me and sweet talk me into staying, and I can't let that happen. End the cycle of abuse. This happened a few days ago, and I feel somewhat guilty for lying to him. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for lying to my partner about me planning to leave him? And there is an update. It doesn't start here, or no, it does start here, but it doesn't end here. But what do you think? Is OP the a-hole for lying to her partner about wanting to leave?
Absolutely not. But she just needs to pull the plug.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I think you're being the a-hole to yourself.
That's true.
You
She
know?
is the a-hole.
She's the a-hole to herself, because have some gosh darn self-respect. Pull the plug. But we got an update. The original post is on my profile from a few weeks ago. Sorry it has taken so long to get an update, and this is going to be long, but a lot has happened. A few days after my last post, I hit my breaking I packed enough for a few weeks, turned off my location before leaving with my daughter, stay with my aunt a few cities over. So OP's leaving. So she's going on the lam. When my partner got home from work that day, he started messaging me, freaking out. I told him we were done and I couldn't keep doing this.
Yay! Good on you.
He spent a few hours going back and forth between yelling at me through voice messages, then crying and begging me to come back. I eventually told him that we could talk more once he had calmed down. We came to agreement that I would come over at the end of the week and we could have a proper sit-down conversation as long as we both remain calm and reasonable. I also told him that until I came back, I wanted to remain minimal contact so I could think and collect myself, which I think honestly in the moments after a breakup is a good move. You want to really reflect of like, okay, like what do we think? The entire time I was gone, he was messaging me, trying to get pictures of me and the baby and finding ways to get me to come back early. I did send him a few pictures of our daughter simply because it still is his daughter, which agreed. But I refused to put myself in any of the pictures and stood firm in the fact that I wasn't coming back until the end of the week. He also spent several nights with his friends getting wasted and telling me how I'm tearing him apart and making him feel horrible when he did nothing wrong. Once the week was over, came back towards the end of the day. Once my daughter was asleep, we sat on the couch and talked. Okay, so now the bad boyfriend, daughter's asleep that they both share, the bad boyfriend that she's breaking up with and trying to like run away with the daughter with, they're sitting down and they're going to have a talk. Again, they're both 19. This is a lot to happen for a 19-year-old.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, they're both 19. I explained that I feel unappreciated and that he needs to step up as a father because as it stands, he's just above a deadbeat. And that's only because he pays the bills. During our conversation, it also came to light that I can't do monogamy.
What? Where was that in the original post? That came out of nowhere.
That's
So
kinda
why? I'm curious as to like what the, it might just be like a preference or something like that, but I'm really curious as to what the explanation to that is. You know what
I mean? Maybe she's just like, I don't want to be locked down with no deadbeat anymore. And so monogamy is just not for me. I've known him polyamorous for several years, but when I met him, I thought I could be monogamous for him. And after almost 3 years, I'm realizing I was wrong. I'm not here to judge me on that, so please don't come for me trying to tell me I'm a spicy sleep addict or something, because I promise I've heard it all before. I ended up agreeing to stay and to try it all again, this time with some new ground rules and boundaries set in place. So now she's trying to do this relationship again. I don't know. It feels like it's a little bit too soon to just start things over.
Yeah, I mean, after such a fallout like this, you definitely need some time apart and some time to think about
You can't just get right
what
back
you
in.
want. Yeah, especially if they're thinking like, oh, like, you know, I thought I was polyamorous, or like I thought I could be monogamous for this guy, but actually it's not gonna work out. Like, that seems like something that needs to be addressed and
Something
take some time.
You should like steep in that. And like, I don't think there's been steep time. But we agreed that he would be more involved in both childcare and taking care of the house. Okay, that's a win. I also get rather irritable when my anxiety gets really bad, usually when I don't have my medication, and I agreed that I would try to work on keeping my cool. As for the polyamory, I explained to him what it means to me, since it's different for everyone. For me, it's not just having spicy sleep with others. In fact, it takes a while of knowing and loving someone before I'm even willing to entertain the idea of having spicy sleep with them. For me, it means genuinely loving and having consensual, honest relationships with multiple people. He said we could try a new dynamic where I can flirt and send pictures to people online as long as I follow some very strict rules, and he was not willing to budge or compromise anymore on this front. 1, so this is with the spicy pics, I can't show my face. And 2, they can't know my name, where I live, or any other personal information. 3, I can never meet any of them in person. And 4, I can't show my tattoos, which is very difficult because I have 7 of them, all on different areas of my body, and several are very close to my intimate areas. 5, I can't form a genuine bond or connection with any of them, and if I do, I have to block them immediately. I feel like this is like just non-monogamy with monogamy mixed in.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, you could absolutely have other partners as long as you never speak to them or share their name at all.
Yeah, and they don't see you or any intimate or identifiable parts of your body.
Right.
Just seems like watching porn.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what you're describing. Or maybe it's like I don't know, like a live feed.
Yeah.
6, he has to have full access to my messages, anyone and everyone, to make sure I'm following the rules.
The rules.
It's a surveillance state.
The rules.
Oh.
This brought us back to the controlling stuff that we saw before.
We're literally back where we started.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's been about a week since our talk, and he has been a lot more involved with our daughter. In fact, he's turned into almost a model father. Most nights he stays up late anyway, so now unless she needs to nurse, he takes care of our daughter if she wakes up during that time. He helps with one of her solid meals each day. She has 2 a day, and she's very messy, and it's difficult to eat while also helping her. I don't have to ask as often for him to change a diaper or step in when I get overwhelmed. He even agreed to get me some lactation supplements after previously telling me he'd rather do formula than help me boost my milk supply. He's been helping out a little more in the house. He still expects me to praise him anytime he does anything like swap the laundry or do the dishes, but it's a step in the right direction, I guess. He's also been slightly more appreciative of everything I do. He basically did almost a full 180 since before I left. I want so hard to be happy with all of it, but I still worry that once I get settled again and let go of the possibility of leaving, that he'll go right back to his old ways. With the relationship thing, I do still feel unheard and unfulfilled as I explained what it means and it would look like for me, and he seems to have completely disregarded it. With a new dynamic, it's pretty much the same as before because I don't like to engage with others that way until I have a decent bond with them, which is against the rules. By the way, what's against the rules is you not doing the following. If you don't do any of the following, you're banned. For all the good boys and girls that want to do exactly as they're told, you should listen to our podcast episodes where we release twice daily, every day. You could listen while you're doing dishes, listen while you're working out. You could put us in your ear holes every waking moment, literally for the next 104 consecutive 24 hours, and you would not run out of content. So please put us in your ear holes. Listen to OK Storytime wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever else. I don't know, one of the weird ones, Audible. Go and listen to us. Listen to OK Storytime. But there's a little bit more to this story. After everything that's happened, I find myself wanting to make this work for my daughter. I grew up with split parents, and it made me miserable. Plus, I began to worry that if I leave, his next partner may be like my now ex-stepmother and turn him into an abusive and neglectful father. And I can't stand the idea of my baby girl having to go through what I did growing up. Really quick, with this whole worry of if she like polarizes him away, he'll become a worse father than he is now. Do you think that's like a real issue, like a real worry?
Ooh.
Or do you think she should just be like, hey, like, I don't know if this guy is good for me or good for the kid. Let's maybe distance ourselves.
Any thoughts?
I think it is. I can see why she's concerned. You know, I don't know. If you push the dad away, maybe he'll become a worse dad. I can totally see that happening. I just feel so bad for her. Honestly, I feel like she's so strong for putting her foot down, and hopefully it lasts. But
So
I don't
would you
know.
stay with the father in hopes that he changes?
Yeah, I mean, even the rules that he put down were so controlling.
I know. It seems like he
they're
hasn't
just-
changed.
They're just so different. You know, she seems
Yeah.
to be more polyamorous and he seems very monogamous, controlling, you know, and some people like that and some people don't. So it
Yeah.
seems it's just not a good match. I don't know.
I think they need some time away from each other, first off. I think to really assess what this relationship means, they need time away. I also think if you believe this person is showing signs of being controlling, you can't be fearful that they'll become worse and stay together because of fear that they'll become worse, right? I mean, if they become worse, there are ways to deal with that at a later point. I think you have to do best for yourself and your baby now.
Mhm.
And I think they can do that by giving some time between. And then maybe the father could come back into the baby's life later. But maybe he'll be
Yeah.
polarized away and become worse. But regardless, I think doing what is best for her and the baby now with some separation, I think is the best move.
I agree. I've also heard like, I mean, my parents are still together, but like I've had friends who have divorced parents and they are saying like, yeah, I mean, like they would try to stay together, but then that just kind of made it worse because they knew that they weren't right for each other. So eventually they did have to go through the divorce and then still have that problem happen anyways. You know
Staying
what I mean?
together for, I think like something that we've learned on this show is like staying together for the kids rarely does the kids
Yeah.
or the parents any good.
Exactly.
And I think it's more for the preservation of what we believe a family should look like rather than the preservation of peace within that family.
Yeah.
But we got a little bit more to this story. I feel so stuck and confused and I don't know what to do anymore. Maybe do exactly what we said and it'll be better.
Is that the end?
That's the end.
Wow. Oh man.
Opie, you're in the pickle. You're in a pickle. We support you, and I hope you do what's best for you and your baby, what makes you feel best. My boyfriend's sister hates me. It strained our relationship.
Get out of here, sis.
Adam and I have been together for a little over 4 months now. For the most part, our relationship is perfect, but ever since his sister veered into my life, it's been causing huge strain on mine and Adam's relationship. By the way, this comes from Butterfly Fly Away 21. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So when I first started dating Adam, he told me Marie was coming to visit from out of town and get ready to meet her. I asked him what he meant by that, and he said, Marie is a witch. She's a mean, judgmental girl and won't give you the time of day. Now, I try to be a nice person. I try not to judge people. And I always welcome someone new in my life in the warmest possible way, right? When he described Marie like that, I told Adam I don't want toxic people like that in my life, but I will meet her and be civil with her. Said hi, shook my hand. I was okay with this, but about 5 minutes later, she comes barging into Adam's room asking why he was screaming. He was telling her that he walked me to pluck his eyebrows and it was painful. Completely ignoring me in the room, she goes, that's stupid. They look fine and go get a wax if you need them done that bad, and walks out. Later that night, the night after, she would call Adam to pick her up when she was wasted because she was irresponsible and didn't plan to ride. I told him that we spend limited time together and to have to cut it by his sister is kind of annoying. He took her side, which is expected, and anytime we were in his room, she always felt the need to knock and barge in for literally no reason. I don't have siblings, and I assumed this is typical sibling move, but she never spoke one word to me and acted like I didn't exist. Marie left town and she started telling Adam things about me that she didn't like, and then made a huge deal over the fact that I didn't add her on Facebook. I accepted her request, and then she called him and started dissecting my profile and everything about it. Man, girl can't catch a break.
Is this my sister?
And this girl
Sounds like my
has
sister.
no room to judge anyone herself. Up until Tuesday night, Marie had said she was staying home for Thanksgiving. All of a sudden, she decides to come down and ruin everything. She came into town last night. I told Adam that I didn't want to see her or hang out with her, and he was really uneasy about that. When I got to his house, he sat me down, said, we had to talk. Basically told me that no one in his life has ever not liked his sister. What do you mean? You literally just you told OP like, hey, this girl is a massive witch. Be prepared.
You said that.
And there is going to be a huge problem if I don't get along with her. I said I would be civil, but I didn't want a self-absorbed person, negative girl like that in my life. I said I would respect the fact that they are siblings and they are extremely close, but that's it. I also asked him to do one thing. If she is over, could he ask her to give us some privacy when the door is closed and not barge in? And Adam is extremely against this. What if you are mid-coital?
You want that?
You want that?
You want that? I don't think so.
We don't want that. Again, not having siblings, I don't really get it, but I know that I would ask my parents to respect my privacy if he were at my house and the roles were reversed. After 2 hours of arguing this, he finally gave in. We were at his house and he texted Marie saying, hey, I'll talk to you in the morning. If you come in, girlfriend is over and she leaves on Saturday. His way of asking for some privacy. Well, she took this the wrong way, started screaming, deleted me on Facebook, went out, got wasted, 1:30 a.m., comes by. She's calling their mother, screaming how she needs a ride. Can't call Adam because I'm a witch and a witch. And then his mother starts screaming that I'm a witch and we need to stop effing and he needs to pick her up now.
Oh, man, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The mom's not a vibe either.
Once again, unaliving our night. And for the record, I was asleep sick in his bed. So now Marie hates me for asking for privacy and is setting out to make my life. And now his mother dislikes me because naturally she agreed with her daughter. Like I said, he and his sister are extremely close, and I know she's going to do everything in her power to make sure he and I aren't together. And even after talking to Adam about this, he still sides with his sister. I'm supposed to go on vacation with both of them in a month, and I am dreading that. All day today, Adam has been very distant and cold towards me, and I'm afraid this is the beginning of the end. How should I confront both of them about this or mend this? Any help would be appreciated. And there is an update coming up, a juicy, thick update because we are barely a quarter through this story. It's going to get thick.
Wow.
It's going to get juicy. But what do you think? Do you think OP is the a-hole? And also, how should I confront both of them about this?
I think that OP is not the a-hole. I think she is not only setting a reasonable boundary, but again, it's like, hey, in a relationship, it's like your partner's like, hey, this is like, you know, what I want and like what I feel comfortable with. And like, you got to kind of work together to figure out what that equilibrium is going to be. So yeah, I mean, the sister's absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Sounds like mom is as well. And he's not supporting her.
Yeah, which means, I mean, the relationship is if he doesn't start choosing you, I think the relationship's going to be doomed.
And that's, I think, the next conversation is like, hey, listen, I understand you know, love your sister and whatever, but like, you know, there's some things that are, you know, I don't want to just like, you know, let her barge in whenever she wants, for example. And like, we need to just like work together to get on the same page on that.
She can't just steamroll over you.
Yeah. Like, don't let her just.
I did look up the ages of everyone, or at least the three main characters.
Yes.
So it looks like boyfriend is 23, the sister's 25, and OP is 21.
And why is
she's the youngest?
No, yeah,
OP's the youngest.
OP's the youngest.
Yeah.
So,
and then so I'm thinking like, oh, the sister's the oldest, getting the, you know, whatever, little brother syndrome thing, you know.
Oh, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'm the boss.
Yeah.
But we got an update. We got an update.
Let's dive into that, baby.
We got an update.
Yes,
Oh,
the
yeah. We're
sister
gonna go
is
straight
older.
into it. A lot has happened, but I will try to make it as short as possible. Feel free to ask for any clarification on anything. If I'm thinking of this timeline correctly, I briefly saw my boyfriend Adam on Thanksgiving while his sister Marie was out shopping on Black Friday. When I left his house, I asked him if he had asked his sister why she had deleted me on Facebook out of the blue. He didn't do that. So the next Friday, Adam and I get into a fight in the morning that was between he and I. I was leaving town quickly for a family emergency and my emotions were already pretty whacked. I definitely overreacted, but there was a lot on my mind, which I explained to him. I met up with him around 5 since we wanted to talk and his sister was still home. I again asked him if he asked his sister and he said no. We calls her on the phone and she says, if she wants to talk to me in person, she can. I'll be civil. Literally recalling this night makes my heart race. We grabbed a bite before we headed over to his house because at that point, I hadn't decided if I wanted to speak with her or not. During the dinner, he told me that we weren't going to go to his house, that this was goodbye.
Oh.
For a while.
Bye.
For a while?
Yeah. Still emotions running high. I asked him why, and he said, because my sister is there. I knew that I had to talk with her sooner or later, and he ultimately wanted me to do it, so I did it for him. Mentally, I was telling myself not to say anything, and I can cry when it's over if I needed to. I never cry. I drive over there, and I follow him into his sister's room. Marie is laying on her bed and she said, sit down. I would rather stand. Instantly turns to Adam and says, you see this crap, Adam? He's acting like a witch already. I'm taken aback. So I ask, what's the difference between me sitting down and standing up? She says nothing, goes on with what she has to say, which went something like this.
Here we go.
First, she started telling me about how Adam was sharing every text message and phone conversation we've had together with her, and she knows everything that I've said about her.
Dude, that's not cool, bro.
Adam!
What are you doing, dog?
Adam!
There's the bus.
Adam!
I guess you got thrown under it.
Yo. All I said on text and on phone is that I don't want to go downtown because I don't want big sister breathing down our necks. Again, you're focusing on the wrong thing here, girl. Adam is a little spineless boy. My friends were in town that I haven't seen for years, and the last thing I wanted to do was deal with having her sloppy, wasted self barging in. I didn't say that last sentence. All I said to him is I didn't want her breathing down our necks. I took that out of context and extremely personally. Then Marie started talking about why she deleted me on Facebook. She said that she wasn't going to keep me as a friend if I didn't like her. She said she doesn't keep people like that on her account. Adam decides now is a good time to tell Marie, clarify something that I had confusion on. First sign that he was completely defending her. She said, oh, I keep that girl as a friend because I like to know things about her life because I hate her. I think her life is so pathetic that it's funny, and I like that. A what? To quote John and to quote OP. So you don't like me, so you delete me, but you want to use her to talk crap about her, so you keep her. Again, I didn't say anything. Marie then goes to talk about how she thinks that I'm a crazy controlling witch. She said, you never let Adam go out. You never let Adam hang out with his friends. You never let Adam drink. You don't let Adam do anything that he wants. She then turns to Adam and says, I think you are a crazy witch and you are a kitty for putting up with this girl. I think you should leave her. And you know, I am always right. You never disagree with me.
Yeah. The sister's not controlling at all.
Also,
not
I mean,
controlling.
The one thing she is right is Adam is a little kitty. He's a little,
It's true.
He is a little noodle spine. Adam, stand up for yourself, man.
Come on.
Stand up. Grow the spine. Put the boundaries down.
Go from kitty to lion.
Yeah.
I had a lot of practice with those Nat Geo videos.
Yeah.
I just went.
Adam put his head down like a puppy who just got scolded. I stood there in shock, held back tears and didn't say anything. When she said that statement, she also mentioned examples. Then it hit me. She knows everything about our relationship. He tells her everything, but he only tells Marie his side of the story and what's going on. He never told her anything about anything. So she is hearing things about relationships that are taken way out of context. For example, the drinking thing was because one night he got extremely wasted beyond wasted and of course tried to cover it up. I clearly knew he was wasted, asked him not to have spicy sleep with me when he's wasted because I've been mistreated that way and I don't enjoy it, which is a totally good thing to do.
Yeah.
He took that as I hate it when he drinks, period. And that's what his sister said.
Of course.
Just dump both of them. No. Just dump both of them.
Now that I have issues with spicy sleep while wasted, not the drinking itself, I also constantly ask Adam if he feels like I'm holding back for anything from him because I don't want to. And he always says, no, not at all. If I wanted to do something, I would do it. Marie then starts to go on about how we were supposed to vacation together. She says, why are you even going to go when we're not going to talk? That's awkward for everyone. You should not go. Adam told me that you didn't want to go to dinner with us. This vacation was for Adam's birthday. Finally stepped in and said, I never said that, not once. In fact, dinner hasn't even been mentioned. And Adam then backs his sister up, of course, and makes me look crazy for not remembering, even though the convo truly never happened. Why? I don't know why you're like trying to hold on to this.
It's too much.
No?
Way too much.
She goes on to pick apart everything that's wrong with me, tells me why she's better than I'll ever be. I don't know why that matters. Tells me that I've never even acknowledged anyone in this family when they're around. Not true at all. You wouldn't know. And tells me that people think I'm a witch because I speak my mind and I'm not afraid to tell someone something. That's not even a witch. That's just a bitter, immature person. Kristen Cavallari was never liked. Who is that? Tells me things of our relationship that I didn't even know about and reminds me that she's always right and he should break up with me. This went on for over an hour.
Oh.
I held it all in and then I walked out of the room. I broke down. Cried and cried, didn't get over an hour of sleep and missed my plane because I just couldn't handle anything at the moment. Ended up getting on another plane, thank goodness. I decided that instead of talking to her, I would write a letter and explain everything I didn't say in person. You should write a letter to your boyfriend to break up.
Yeah.
This is
Just an hour of just getting barraged.
Yeah, and
That's crazy.
Your boyfriend did nothing.
And
Nothing.
I feel like this is like a great example where it's like, I guess OP's like trying to like, okay, like let me communicate, let me like say all the things that I couldn't like articulate when I was there. Sometimes you don't gotta do that. This woman was just berating you for an hour. There's really no.
Yeah. I wrote it and decided to ultimately not send it. A true Lincoln move of you. I love that. Because I don't even want to give her any piece or part in my life. While I was gone, I thought a lot about Marie as a person. I think that for someone to be so immature, cold, and mean, there has to be some really deep emotional problems, and this is the way she lets out. Again, she makes fun of everyone for being fat, but she can lose weight. She thinks she's better than everyone because she has Tory Burch flats, and literally the first thing she asked Adam about me was, what kind of person shoes does she wear? And she wasn't very happy with that answer. She believes material possessions make a person, and in order to make herself feel happy or okay, is to tear down every single person in her life. I question anyone who openly prides himself or herself in being a crap talker. Who wants someone like that in their life? I sure don't. That's petty drama even MTV wouldn't want for a reality show. Came back into town and decided to be very black and white with Adam, until we were able to talk everything out. I told him that he never defended me once. Hopefully, maybe OP is going to break up.
Hopefully, I'm praying, bro.
That he never defended me once when he could have. And I'm so hurt that there's basically a third person in a relationship. And the things she said to me, I'll never forget. I asked him why he didn't go to me with the way he felt about things. And he said because he was scared. The noodle span. Noodle span. And I explained to him that I don't have a brother or sister to go to. So I go to him with our problems. I wish he could do the same because things get twisted like everything was. I told him that when you let people only see the bad things, they're going to get bad thoughts, especially when they are from a biased point of view. Adam understood everything, and since that talk, our relationship has been pretty solid. You're sticking with it, OP. Crazy. I started to get Marie and all of her hurtful words out of my head until the conversation about vacation came up. I was with Adam on a Friday night. He said to me, so about my birthday vacation, Marie called me and said that she has already spent a lot of money on Christmas and New Year's Eve, and she knows how important you are to me and how she knows that I ultimately want to be with you on my birthday. She doesn't want to intrude or make anything awkward or make you feel uncomfortable, but she has no problem with you. She said that she would be willing to cancel the vacation. What do you think?
Who is this guy?
What is this explanation?
Who is this guy?
She obviously, she just tore into OP for an hour straight.
I guarantee you Marie is telling that to the boyfriend or to OP's boyfriend, saying, send it and see what she says. And she's like, you know what? She's going to say all this, and you know what? Break up with her. All this stuff. It's a test. Which I don't know. I would
so
break up
easy.
with. Yeah.
I felt so uneasy. In my head, the first thing I thought of was, that's a setup. That's a complete setup. Choose wisely. I told Adam verbatim, I would like to take a couple of days to think about what I would like to do. Adam wanted an answer immediately, but I really wanted to think it out. I didn't want to be selfish and say cancel, but I didn't want to put myself in a bad situation. I really didn't want to go at all, but all I said to him was, I'll think about it. And he texted his sister, yeah, cancel your vacation. And I didn't know this at the time. She stopped talking to him. I hadn't given him an answer, and he didn't ask me for one. I really wanted her to decide, and then I would go with whatever, but I really did not want to go. 2 weeks later, he told me that he sent that text to Marie. She called him up and said, I cannot believe you're picking your girlfriend over me. I'm your sister, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't come before me. I am first in your life. Stop talking to him just like that. I knew it was a setup. I knew she does not like me and has not liked me. And this was a test to see who we would pick, which is why I stayed out, because I did not want this to come back around to me. I told him I knew it was a setup. Besides Christmas, they haven't talked much. The only time they do talk, it's brief, and she constantly asks questions about my life. I think if you don't like someone, you don't waste your time or energy on them, but this is her hobby.
Nah, bro, she's the CEO of petty energy. Just like
He's obsessed.
sucking the life force.
And sucking the life force out of herself, too.
Oh, my God.
I ended up not going on the vacation because I had another family emergency. That hasn't happened. Adam and I have been doing wonderfully. I don't know. But I am scared that the next time his sister comes into town, something will happen between us. It probably will. I am constantly worrying about the future and what is going to happen later on. I don't want to put all of my effort in this relationship if it won't work out because his sister and I do not get along. I can't continually put my relationship on hold when Marie comes into town, and I don't want to have any drama when she's around either. So I still don't know what to do because our relationship is going so well. There's more to this story.
Oh.
Thank you to all the reaches. I apologize again for taking so long to write an update. I posed another problem above, and any feedback would be graciously appreciated. By the way, you can go listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime. There's a little bit more to the story, little some details. But I mean, we had a story earlier today like this. Like, it seems like you things kind of went okay and went your way once. And you're ignoring an entire history of bad choices. We still have not resolved this problem.
Not it.
He chose you once over his sister. As soon as she comes back to stay with him or you, it's gonna get
only
messier.
because she's not around.
Such a big elephant in the room too. Like, hey, where were you in that conversation? Like, it was never brought up again. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
We
you're
don't have to talk to your
sweeping
sister.
stuff under the rug. Yeah.
Man.
Look, like, I mean, much like a 3-minute Hinge voice message, this is
God.
too much.
Wow. What a comparison.
And if you're wondering about his mom, well, she has been nothing but nice to me after screaming about how I'm a witch and such. She never apologized, but she's been overly sweet to me. Adam actually told me about 2 weeks ago that she's a substance regular user and heavy drinker, and that's why he has a very small relationship with her and why she acts the way she does. I am fine with the entire family, and I know on Christmas Day it ate Marie alive when all of her favorite little cousins kept asking about me, where I was, because they wanted to talk about cheerleading and gymnastics. I cheered and coach gymnastics. She knows nothing about that. Edit. Whoa. I didn't think that would get so much of a response. I want to thank everyone for taking time to reply. It means a lot to me. I just responded to almost everyone. Thank you guys. You're great. I'm thinking of talking to him at this point about it again, but I've mentioned in some comments about having troubles bringing it up. I see him on Monday or Tuesday. I hope you talk to him.
Please.
Because, man, oh man, this is a lot.
I beg you, OP.
He literally shared the entire relation. Like, is this not, have we had enough? I feel like we've had enough red flags. My boyfriend prioritizes his friends who discriminate me and my daughter.
Oh boy.
This might be a long story because I need to give some context, so please bear with me. I am 22, a white Puerto Rican female. This will be mentioned later, and my boyfriend is 25, white. Also, sorry for this word vomit. I'm not great at telling stories, so I hope this is understandable. Sorry if I get sidetracked. Thanks in advance for the help. By the way, this comes from Manic Pixie XXX on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I often visit my boyfriend, and my 3-year-old daughter even has a room in his house. However, we live next door to his friends, and while it is fantastic to live with friends when they are responsible and reasonable, helpful friends, my situation is the opposite.
Oh dear.
They are usually nice when they are by themselves. These are 26 and 28 white males. Sorry to mention race, but it'll come into play later. They typically have a revolving door of Tinder girls and dates coming over, so I meet some who are 99% of the time white. While I have pale skin, my naturally big and curly hair, as well as mixed race, black, white, and Puerto Rican daughter, we stick out like a sore thumb. Still, my way of talking is more on the Hispanic or I guess urban side. I guess I grew up with my mom, whose first language was Spanish, and a family who didn't speak English well without a heavy accent. So anyway, I meet new people, and in my attempt to make them feel more comfortable with me, I try to do a white girl voice, as terrible as that sounds. I am the type of person who sits back and watches before I interact. I see them joking about a brown Band-Aid, saying why they would buy the black people Band-Aid, and one of the girls laughs and says it is brown, not black. See, haha, this will have meaning later. Laughing at her boyfriend, 28 male. All right, we're getting into some dicey territory.
Yeah, we are.
I'm 2 twisted teas in at this point. I don't often drink, so I'm feeling tipsy and start my Valley Girl voice because I unfortunately did feel uncomfortable around them, to which they responded by speaking in a Valley Girl voice back to mock me whenever I was around, to which I ignored. So OP speaking in a Valley Girl voice to be
She's code
like
switching.
inclusive,
She's
but like
to
the other
feel comfortable.
people, but the other people like know she's putting on a voice, so they're making fun of her.
she's code switching. She's trying to like
fit in.
Like fit in essentially, but it's like fitting in too much,
Yeah.
quote unquote. And now they're like catching on to what she's
Yeah.
doing and mocking her with it.
Well, my daughter is playing with her friend. We are all still playing Uno, and they conveniently forget to deal me in, claiming they did, and I stuck it back under the stack, which I didn't. I was very far away from it, and my boyfriend said, no, she never got one, but it's okay. She can play with me. I get a call from my sister and start talking, still in a Valley Girl's voice, which the girls eat up, but I am a very anxious person and was wasted and honestly would have rather been made fun of for talking like them versus my authentic voice and way of speaking. My sister immediately knew something was wrong and asked why I spoke like that. Me and my boyfriend are significantly better looking than his friends and the girls they bring.
Boom.
So there's sometimes a bit of issues with the Tinder girls favoring to look at my boyfriend, which I ignore because I'm confident in myself and I'm building a life for myself that will surpass what they could all ever do. And I'm an honor roll university student. Yeah, I mean, these sound like really whack people. And I'm like, is your boyfriend not a little whack if he's friends with all these whack people?
Yeah, so are they the Tinder dates of his friends?
I think
Is
they're the
that
Tinder
relation?
dates of his friends.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
what it
yeah,
sounds
yeah,
like.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I mean, why would you hang out with these people?
That's the well,
Yeah.
we've all had one
Bad Tinder date.
Tinder
Yeah,
date,
but
right.
I don't know. It feels a little wacky. But anyway, back to my sister. I told her, and she said, I'm very disappointed you are around people that make you feel uncomfortable and that your boyfriend continues to put you in a place like that.
Sam said that.
This makes my anxiety worse, so I decided to go for a walk. And my boyfriend's friend's parents are watching my daughter and her friend. Before I left for my walk, I opened my notes app and told my boyfriend I was very anxious. Can we go back home together and relax? He said, no.
Oh.
So I understood he wanted to be with his friends. Ming Ming says, what is a Valley voice? It's like, and so I texted him and let him know I was going on a walk and asked if he could keep an eye out for my daughter. Like that.
Like that.
So I texted him to let him know I was going on a walk and asked him if he could keep an eye out for my daughter, who at this point she thinks is her father.
Oh, snap.
Wait,
That's a big detail.
that's a huge detail.
That's a huge detail, right?
Wait. Wait.
And I guess the daughter is there with them all.
Yeah,
Dude, there's
Wow.
a baby in the midst.
that's a huge detail.
There's a baby in the
that
midst.
was just completely overlooked.
Yeah.
I've been with him for over 2 years, so that's most of her life. She's already being watched, but I wanted to confirm she was looked at by him, OP's boyfriend. To which he responded by saying, when you're back, we can call my daughter Nina back, which led me to believe she was missing only 2 blocks away and hauling A to get back.
So she's saying like, oh, could you watch my daughter? And he's like, oh yeah, like we'll call her back when you get back. And she's like, well, why do you got to call?
Yeah, where
Is
is
she
she?
there right now? Like, why you got to call her?
I called him while I was on the way, and he said I should call my friends and hung up, which made me even more concerned, but he didn't care. He was upset that I didn't want to hang out with his friends. All he would have had to do was open the door 5 steps away from where he was sitting to see my daughter, but he didn't. I come back literally in a full-blown panic attack because she doesn't know where her daughter is, like if her
100%.
daughter's being taken care of.
Yep.
My daughter's fine right where I left her. I get her and she goes to her room to watch her iPad while I start to cry downstairs, not understanding why my boyfriend wouldn't give me confirmation that my daughter's okay. Okay, so really quick
Yes.
to go back. So OP's feeling anxious.
Yep.
And she's like, hey, can we leave? And the boyfriend's like, I don't want to leave. She's like, okay, I'm just going to leave for a little bit, like go down the street. Can you watch my daughter? Boyfriend's like, okay. And then later, OP asks, hey, is my daughter there? And he's like, I don't know. And all he had to do was like walk 5 steps to see if she was actually in the next room.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And now she's having like a panic attack.
What a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Bro.
My daughter is fine right where I left her. I get her and she goes to her room to watch her iPad while I start to cry downstairs, not understanding why my boyfriend wouldn't give me confirmation that my daughter was okay. He told me it was my fault because I should have confirmed with him in person before I left, and it wasn't his responsibility to check on her for me. This completely shocked me. He'd been so good to us and never acted like my daughter was a burden. He helps me in almost every way with her. So am I the a-hole thinking that he should have checked on my daughter for me? Really quick, I think you should dump the boyfriend, but also I don't know if putting father responsibility on him is a good idea. One, because like they're young, but also 2, for a bunch of reasons. They're young. 2, he's like your boyfriend and maybe isn't ready for that responsibility. And 3, he seems like he sucks at being given that responsibility.
Yeah, it's like she was basically assuming
that
he was taking that role.
Yeah.
Now, I think in this specific microcosm, didn't she say before she left, hey, I'm just going to go, you don't want to leave? Okay, cool. I'm going to go for a walk. Just watch her.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that she said, I'm going for a walk, just watch her, that's the time. If he said, no, I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, he should have said it then.
Yeah.
But he agreed to it.
He agreed to it, and then it's like, okay, if someone says, watch this child,
Regardless
just
of
as a
whether
human-
you're a father figure or not, you just do that.
Yeah, he's like, bro, you're trying to make it fun. It's like, I just want you to watch it for 10 minutes while I took a walk.
Yeah.
So there's things going on both sides, but it's like, bro, you should have just watched the child and don't be a freaking idiot. Be like, well, I don't know where she is. Maybe she ran away. I'll go find her when you're back.
Yeah, I mean, I think don't. I feel like this might be, end the relationship territory.
I think so. I think we're accidentally stumbling upon all of the misalignment.
Yeah,
and leave it.
So am I the a-hole for thinking you should have checked on my daughter for me? The parents that were watching my daughter after seeing how distraught I was offered to give me their number, but I just said, that's okay, thanks, and took my kid inside, wanting her to be safe with me. But I want to clarify, she was never in danger. I was just scared as a loving mother. Okay, I believe, so she was already being watched by some other parents, and OP just wanted the boyfriend to check, and it was like, it's like 5 steps away, basically.
Yeah,
like,
and he's like, I'll go find her when you're back.
Yeah.
So
or
she's
I'm not going to leave. But I would like to clarify, she was never in danger. I was just scared as a loving mother. My daughter is everything to me. I would have brought her on the walk with me, but it was dark, so I didn't feel that was safe. I didn't plan on going far. Anyway, my boyfriend storms out, adamant it was my fault. He returns 5 minutes later, putting on his shoes and saying he will go to the bar. Mind you, I'm still hysterical, crying over the scare with my daughter. I start to have a full-blown panic attack, crying, and I can't breathe. He stays to comfort me and make sure I'm okay. He doesn't end up going to the bar and tells me I guilted him into staying. Still, he was telling me over and over it was my fault, and if something did happen to her, it would be my fault.
Jeez.
Which is what set me off, because he was right. I just assume he would have checked on her, since he always has, and also going to the bar with these people after an argument sounded weird to me, considering I'm not allowed to go to bars because he says I'm too pretty and will be hit on.
And then the next sentence is the classic, like, oh, he's so perfect, but
he's almost a perfect boyfriend. I'm young, so that social media would bother me, lol. He does not follow any girls but me, and we are barely on social media, which I love, and it's hard to find these days.
Okay, just because he's trying to isolate you doesn't mean he hasn't already isolated himself.
Still, I don't want to be hated and tell him to go. He doesn't. Oh, God.
Riley just pulled out his whole mic. He was serious, guys.
He says and tells me how he loves my daughter and me, and he would always want to protect us, which then, why couldn't you look out the door? Still, he told me I needed to be nicer around his friends. I told him I didn't feel comfortable as the only Hispanic in a group of the whitest of the white, and I was wrong for saying that, and he took some air, saying, don't play the race card because I'm paler than him. He indeed loves the sun, but they asked me what a Jamaican song was saying. I guess they thought it was Spanish. One of the friends said, don't be racist in response to that to another friend, so it's hard not to think it's about me being Hispanic, at least a bit, and I'm sure that's not their issue with me and that they are just insensitive and want to bother me. But then he starts to tell me ways that he stands up for us, like when his friends and their girlfriends started saying little black girl randomly as a joke. He told them to stop and that she's mixed and it's irrelevant and she shouldn't have been brought up. I was not there to hear that, and neither was my daughter, which is where the brown Band-Aid joke came about my boyfriend saying my daughter wasn't black, she was mixed. These are his lifelong friends, so he made it clear I can't be mad at him for hanging out with them, but he is moving. So, am I the a-hole for expecting him to check on my daughter, and should I even be with him anymore? I don't think my boyfriend is racist anyway. However, my friends told me I should still be concerned with his friend's comfort in talking about my daughter like that after years of dating. He said they must have been trying to look tough for their Tinder dates since my boyfriend is much bigger than them and they were all drinking, and I am a very pale Puerto Rican. They call me La Gringa, so I don't worry too much about things like that, but now I feel like I have to for my daughter. So as a good mom, should I leave him? I love him very much and don't want that to happen. We got so close so fast, but I need to think that my daughter is first. Also, would you stay with a man with friends like that? I probably wouldn't, but I would always stay with us listening on our podcast, OK Storytime. You can search it up anywhere you get podcasts, and that way you can listen when you're doing anything. But
anything in the world.
on this story, Yeah, I mean, he sounds like a poopy bag.
He has so many layers of reasons of why you should leave him, and like so many reasons.
Yeah.
So many reasons.
So many reasons. I think you should leave him, but let's see what OP says. I won't take my daughter around them again since she was referred to as the little black girl as an insult. I also think it is weird that her being black would be a bad thing. My daughter is not dark skinned either, so the whole situation feels so weird to me that I would even have to think about these things. Even if she was dark skinned, I don't see the issue or why sane people would ever bring it up as a joke.
Bingo.
My boyfriend didn't tell me to the extent or with much context, and I didn't ask. It wasn't enjoyable to me. Thanks for reading. If you made it this far, I would love the help. Also, if you read this, Mark, I'm a big fan and love your podcast. I would love to hear your opinion since I enjoy your honesty and fair judgment.
Oh, we got a fan.
We got a fan.
Dude, we love that.
Leave.
He
doesn't. He doesn't sound like a good guy.
Yeah.
He does not sound like a good guy. You need to do what's best for you and your daughter.
He's so controlling, and just again a million reasons, but him trying to be like, oh, I do all of this and that, and I think truly also it's like a lesson in trying to find alignment. Is he a criminal for not wanting to be a dad yet? No. But that's something that like you got to figure out and like work out. Like, okay, is he really? If he keeps going down the road 2 years in, well, eventually one would presume he would be a dad. So it's like, okay, figuring out if he is actually wants and is ready for that.
Yeah, and
Which
also like think about your daughter. Like, is this guy and his friends a good influence on your daughter's
Friends are so
self-image?
bad.
Like, I really don't think so. But I would love to know what y'all think. Put your answers in the comments below.
Let us know.
But that is where this story and this episode ends.
That's true.
It was a doozy.
It's quite a doozy.
Yeah. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.